Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
At US Cellular, we speak fair. When we say you don't have to pay activation fees, we mean it. Plus, right now when you switch, you also get $700 toward the latest phones. Yep, we mean that too. Upgrade to fair with US Cellular. Promotional pricing requires an unlimited everyday or even better plan. New line, port, and credit approval. Qualified smartphone purchase and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month RIC. Taxes, fees, and additional restrictions apply.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit AtlanticWireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
Hey, this is Chef Dave Finelli. Have you got $60 extra a week or you just got $60 a week? I can feed you dinner 6 nights a week for total $60. Maybe you haven't heard about this, my Heart Healthy Home Meals. I give you 6 meals a week. You pick them up at Pops. It's $60 a week. I guarantee you go out to eat one time, you spend more than $60. I guarantee you if you go to the grocery store one time, you spend more than $60. And then you still got to tip, and then you still got to cook and prep and worry. Forget all that. I got you. $60 a week. Let me know. I'm right there at Pops. You know how to reach me.
Baltimore Orioles baseball.
The 1-2, swinging a rope out towards left field, down the line. Does it have enough? You better believe it. Renato Nunez exits the ballpark, just keeping it fair down the line in left field. It's home run number 6 on the year for Nunez, and the Orioles grab a 1-0 lead in the first at the Trop.
Catch all the O's action right here on Pirate Radio, your home of the Baltimore Orioles. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 at 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 at 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. Welcome to Pirate Radio Live.
You can paint this one purple.
Now live from the Pirate Radio studios in the heart of the pirate nation, here is your host, Clip Brock.
Hello everyone, welcome in to a Friday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Clip Brock here with you inside the Pirate Radio studios, coming to you on Pirate Radio 92.7 FM in Greenville, 104.1 in Washington. We're on 1250, 930, live online at pr927fm.com and also on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. You can watch today's program. We got some in-studio guests on the way coming up in hour number 1. We made it to NFL kickoff, 1 game under our belts and a full slate of games to pick. We'll do that with Tony Dunn, CarolinaCatChronicles.com, get his Panthers-Raiders preview. Also, one thing we missed out on this summer, and part of it was I just could not get jacked up for an NFL season, and also I didn't know if there would be an NFL season. On the sports bar days, we used to do the Friday Football Fan preview every NFL team with a fan of that team. We missed out on that, but we got our Raiders guy coming in today. Raiders fan Pat will tell us about the Raiders side of this Panthers-Raiders matchup coming up on Sunday. So a lot of NFL talk on the way in hour number 1. We'll pick every game coming up this Sunday and the Monday night doubleheader. Hour 2, we'll check in with Brian North, WCTI 12, get his thoughts on what's going on currently at ECU, the ACC, kicking off their football season this weekend. In fact, kicked it off tonight with a Miami victory over UAB. We'll talk about that and other things going on in the sports world with Brian North in hour 2. Hour 3, we're all ECU with the former defensive coordinator of the Pirates, Rick Smith. He'll join us inside the Pirate Radio studios, and the voice of Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium, Morgan Ahlers, going to join us as well. So we'll have a packed house in hour number 3 of today's program. Also, we'll open up the Pirate Radio Booty Bag coming up in hour number 3. And surely today, we're giving out something that you would really enjoy, a $10 gift card to Pops. Old-fashioned burgers, but again, They have a lot of great food on their menu, including the hamburger steak,
which I am a big fan of. There's no secret to that. But they also have some great seafood. Let's see, what else? Lasagna. And
I've had the cheesesteak in the past.
Yeah, and of course their old-fashioned hamburgers. I'm a big fan of their cheeseburgers. So they got all sorts of different food that you can try out, and it's cooked the old-fashioned way. And they got really good mashed potatoes and gravy. I'm a big fan of the mashed potatoes and gravy too. So
you know those cartoons and like the scent of the food creates like a cloud, like smoke almost, like,
and then you just kind of float.
The other day I smelled your pops. Sounds kind of weird, but I smelled Shirley's pops and almost floated into the kitchen back there in the back, Shirley. But fantastic food. We'll give out a $10 gift card to Pops coming up in hour number 3 of today's show out of the Pirate Radio Booty Bag. About 10 minutes away from our NFL talk, we'll kick it off with a little ECU talk, and we'll dive into this later again with Rick Smith and Morgan Ahlers in hour number 3. But the Pirates continuing to prepare for UCF. Actually, I guess currently right now preparing themselves, and then they'll get into the UCF prep probably next week pretty heavy as they get ready for the Knights, who, by the way, have a game next weekend against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech this week playing Florida State. So East Carolina still kind of watching football. Other teams play football as they practice and prepare for the season. But Mike Houston met with the media following yesterday's practice on a Zoom, and we'll hear some of those comments now. Here were his opening comments.
Got a really upbeat, spirited, helmeted practice today. Been very pleased with how well this team has practiced in our helmets situation. A lot of young teams sometimes, get in a helmeted practice and they think it's a walkthrough, and they don't practice as fast or as focused as they should. But we've had a couple of helmeted practices here recently that I've been very, very pleased with the effort and focus and concentration. And that's something that's so good. It allows you during the season to have those Thursday practices where you can, not beat on their bodies that close to kickoff, but still get a lot of work done. So good day today. A couple of solid days since we last saw each other. We're looking forward to tomorrow. I know that all the kids they're ready to go tomorrow. They're talking plenty to each other, so it should be a lot of fun out there.
He is referring to the third scrimmage that ECU will have this fall camp, and they are actually having that scrimmage as we speak. So we will discuss that. I think another Zoom opportunity today too. Glenn Griffin is rocking the Kevin Green throwback today. What's up, Glenn?
WCW Hall of Famers only,
Is that how you remember Kevin Green? Not as a Steeler or a Panther, but as a member of the Four Horsemen?
I don't even remember him as a member of the Four Horsemen.
Yeah, he was with Flair.
He totally was, but I don't put those two together as much. I don't know why.
That's how I remember him as a wrestler, hanging out with those guys.
I remember thinking he had a higher ceiling than Mongo.
And Mongo was a member.
Mongo was a horseman.
Yeah. See, that's now we're getting on a whole different path. But when we have Captain Chris Sutton from the ECU Police Department in here, he loves the Four Horsemen.
He knows the lineage.
My view of the Horsemen is a bit tainted coming up in the 90s, seeing that form of horseman. So,
right.
Anyway,
NWA horseman.
What were you going to comment on?
I was going to say that we will have the post-practice, not post-practice, post-scrimmage comments on our social media at 5:30. It's been moved up a little bit.
Okay.
Due to weather. I guess they're going to try to get it done before we have some rain and maybe some storms blow through here. So
excellent.
Things are being moved up.
And Glenn does a great job quote tweeting that as it's happening, and then we'll put out the video itself later. So for folks, we'll be playing yesterday's comments as today's comments are happening. So listen to the show to hear everything he had to say yesterday, and then right after that, you can head to our social media accounts and find out what he had to say following ECU's third scrimmage. Holton Ahlers, the starting quarterback heading into 2020. How about what's behind Holton Ahlers? How are the quarterbacks in that room looking? Mike Houston answered that yesterday.
Well, I think we're trying to figure out who number 2 is. Right now, probably Mason Garcia and Alex Flynn are the two that are maybe a touch ahead of the others as far as, working for that backup role. Stubblefield has done some good things here in the last week or so as well. So Taji out a little bit and just not coming back. So, things are shaping up there. Got to figure it out. Got 2 weeks.
All right, there's Mike Houston on the quarterback room and mentioned Garcia and Flynn as potential backup quarterbacks for East Carolina heading into this year. So, again, as we speak, there's a scrimmage happening. Mike Houston talked about the plan for today's scrimmage yesterday.
Yeah, it's ones against ones, twos against twos. We are going to have live special teams work. We're going to play at game regulation, meaning I don't really have a script for tomorrow's scrimmage. We're going to play the ball wherever it lands, kind of alternate, which unit is the ones, depending on, the situation and who's going, and try to get as close to a game as possible. Let the officials handle everything, and then try to simulate some of the late game scenarios that we've been working on so much this week.
All right, there is Mike Houston talking about today's scrimmage. We'll get more into what he had to say yesterday and get the comments of ECU defensive coordinator Rick Smith later on in today's show. One thing we were going to bring up, Shirley, was that, Navy getting boat raced by BYU and them not tackling in practice, because Rick Smith has talked a lot about that and how that has pertained to ECU in, under previous head coaches. Well, today you saw a tweet you were telling me about regarding Navy and Kendi Amatololo in those practices.
Yeah, he announced on Wednesday that Navy would go to full contact practices after they got blown out by BYU, which, of course, is a little too late. But
yeah, for that one, I would say it's a tad late.
And his quote was, "No more touch-and-go football," is what his quote was. And I was like, well, okay. Isn't that kind of what football is supposed to be? You're supposed to be full contact. So.
It's got to be tough to go through a normal day as a Navy football player, as a member of the Naval Academy.
Of course.
Something that's too tough for me. And now I think those days just got even tougher for those football players after what happened to them Monday night against BYU.
Yeah, but knowing the Naval Academy, they're going to be pretty much up for the challenge.
No
I
doubt.
think. But
unfortunately, ECU will be challenged by that hungry Navy team later this season. So kind of wish we played them in the opener now, right?
Yeah, I kind of wish we did too. But, it's just the way the cookie crumbles, and we'll just have to deal with it when we get there.
All right, Tony Dunn is wearing a hat, depriving us of his beautiful hair today in the studio. Oh, he still got it. That's nice to see. We got Tony Dunn joining us. We got Raiders fan Pat, who will be coming in as well. Everybody's rocking, and Pat usually has some cool Raiders gear, but not today. Does that mean he's not excited about his Raiders on Sunday against the Panthers? We will discuss all of that. I'm so excited to make NFL picks, Tony. We are back, and we'll be back right after this.
This is Stephen Igo, publisher of HoistTheColors.net. Recruiting is the lifeblood of any college sports program, and no one devotes more coverage to the future of ECU athletics than Hoist the Colors. Want to know who's going to be the next Holton Ahlers or Jaden Gardner? We've got all the inside scoop on the Pirates' most talented recruits and top targets 24/7. Sign up now and get your first month of coverage for a single $1. HoistTheColors.net, the most reliable reporting on ECU athletics.
My whole business just went up in flames. But my agent was there before the fire was out. We started a plan. I've got 25 employees who could be out of a job if we didn't get this place running again. My independent agent and auto owner's insurance, they made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll. That's incredible.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
This is Brian Smith with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory ever. Brand new Adidas is arriving daily, along with Under Armour, Columbia, and Russell Athletic. UBE is loaded with cargo, and new items are being added daily to PirateWear.com. Be sure to check out our children's store, The Crow's Nest, for all of your young pirates. UBE and PirateWear.com, an ECU tradition for 50 years. Go Pirates!
This is Dr. Phil Perdue with Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. My colleagues and I recognize how difficult this time is for everyone in our community. We continue to see patients during the week while taking precautions to keep everyone safe. Our extended care clinic is now open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. so you can avoid the emergency department for your urgent orthopedic care. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at orthoeast.com.
Weekdays are a great time to visit North Carolina state parks. The best time to learn about nature is to be able to look, listen, and feel its natural beauty. A visit to the North Carolina state parks is perfect for homeschoolers, scout groups, and teachers looking for a fun field trip during the week. You'll be amazed at all the natural wildlife you'll see when you experience the beauty of each North Carolina state park. Visit ncparks.gov to get all the information on the closest park near you.
White Claw Hard Seltzer. Discover a new wave of refreshment. Crafted using seltzer water, 5% alcohol, and a hint of fruit. Available in 5 fruit flavors, 2 grams of carbs, gluten-free, and 100 calories. Find it at whiteclaw.com. White Claw Hard Seltzer. Nothing tastes quite like it. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with natural flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, 2019 Chicago. Visit whiteclaw.com for full nutritional information.
Every team knows that the 2-point play can be a winning move. That's why I'm here. State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer and my team are here to help you go for 2 by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score some savings by combining your home and auto. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, Timothy Sawyer, at 493-0002 today.
Over 32 years ago, the Ronald McDonald House of Eastern North Carolina opened its doors as a place to help families stay together and close to the care they need when they have a sick child. With the addition of a second Ronald McDonald House inside the Maynard Children's Hospital, our need to serve is greater than ever as the medical community flourishes. Help us expand our mission of keeping families close as we grow to meet that need. You can show your support by making a donation to the Ronald McDonald House. Visit our website today at rmhenc.org for more information. Thank you for your support.
This is Coach Blake Harrell, Defense Coordinator for East Carolina Football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Brown & Wood is your home of the best selection of GMC, Cadillac, Buick, and Mazda in Eastern North Carolina for over 83 years. Shop their entire inventory online at brownandwoodauto.com or visit their location on Greenville Boulevard in Greenville. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, welcome back into the show. Shirley Rhodes got the crew here today talking NFL. As man, I thought last night was awesome. Thursday's takeout night, so I went home from here, got takeout. My daughter made a good grade on her math test, which we were kind of stressed about, and so was she. So everybody was in a good mood at the Brock household. I got not only takeout for our meal, I got myself a side snack to eat while I watched the game later in the night. The game itself was competitive in the first half, and then the Chiefs scored late in the first half, early in the third quarter, and it was pretty much over. But an awesome fantasy night, which we'll talk about in a moment, and I won 4 bets on that one game, and so I was ecstatic. Now, some people, aren't watching football and sports because they don't like their politics in sports, which I hate politics, which is why I watch sports. I feel like the people that are angry about the politics in sports love politics.
That's totally true.
And talking about politics.
That is totally true.
Yeah. Like, I hate politics.
Great observation.
Which is why I enjoy watching the sports. And there was a game last night that I watched.
I still can't. You saw the smirk on my face. Like, I can't get past this. 4 wins for Clip.
I mean,
Whoa.
Unheard of, which is why I had to bring it up because it's not going to happen again.
This guy's on cloud 9
yes.
today.
I wish the season.
Bad it was like $8.50.
Yeah, true.
His football team is undefeated right now too.
The football team, as we were discussing. Yes,
best week of the season.
Tony Dunn is here, rocking the Shaq Thompson jersey and the Panthers hat. He's ready to go for Sunday.
I was driving here, flying. My wife had held me up.
Don't
she
blame
was actually
your wife.
driving. Yes, I am blaming her because we were in the same car. She dropped me off, and I was listening to this wonderful intro, and then you bring up Glenn's throwback, and I was this close to rocking the Steve Berline jersey today. You know, so I was a little disappointed.
I can't have. Why do you own a Steve Berline jersey?
It's a great question. My uncle gave it to me when I was a kid, younger, and I've still had it. I also
why did they make a Steve Berline jersey?
Wonderful. I've got another one. My Tim Biakabatuka jersey is about in as good as condition as Glenn's jersey. Glenn's jersey looks straight out the box.
It's shiny. It is. By the way, got a note from listener Steve who says Kevin Green, not a horseman. I think Mongo turned on him and he joined the horsemen. So maybe Green was about to be a horseman or
I think
was fighting against the horsemen. Maybe that's what it was.
Right, because I think there was some stuff in Charlotte, maybe on a Nitro.
In Ric Flair country.
Kevin Green definitely had a match against Ric Flair, which is amazing in retrospect. It's mind-blowing.
Very weird. All right, so Pat Ryder is also here. Pat, the Raiders fan. Pat, would you like to tell people what you do when you're not talking about football?
Sure. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Kinesiology. I teach sport analytics, biomechanics, stuff like that.
And we all went to the same public schools growing up.
Yeah, he just turned out to be successful. On top of that is one other thing. He turns out to also be the only one qualified here to talk about football.
That is true. That is true. We will maybe dive into the advanced stats with Pat today. So did you enjoy the football last night, Tony?
The football was amazing to have in your life again. And I was a little saddened that it turned out the way it was, as I thought that the Texans were going to give a better run. I was waiting for Watson to show he is the quarterback that is, because we have the 2 major contracts. And I think Deshaun Watson, I think he's just as good as Mahomes. I think Mahomes is just so hot right now. And yes, he is amazing. But I was a little irritated by the fantasy football look at what the game was like and why it turned out that way. So
what do you mean?
What I mean is that the Texans' problems were that they didn't have DeAndre Hopkins and that the receivers aren't getting the get off. And that was not the truth. The real story of that game was is that the Texans' offensive and defensive lines were inferior to their opponent. The offensive line you can't let routes develop if you're just letting people through. And the Texans have always had a bad offensive line, so it's not a news story. They continue to not be able to address it. But really, J.J. Watt and that group is not the force that they used to be, and that's the only way you're going to shut down a Patrick Mahomes. And I was thinking about Glenn the whole night as Clyde Edwards-Helaire was just going off. And I don't know if that's just him. He was very good, but man, the Texans, their defense, they just couldn't stop the run either.
I thought that the Texans maybe thought there were 6 quarters in the game last night. They kind of looked lethargic. And what do you think about the amount of touches they gave the rookie for Kansas City last night, Pat? They were giving him the ball.
Yeah, I think it's kind of an interesting. It looked like a preseason game in a lot of ways. It's the first time they've actually played real football in a long time. And so I think you're going to see that a lot in the beginning of the season. Teams that kind of had good continuity, which we'll talk about with the Raiders and the Panthers coming up. I think they're going to be successful, or a little more successful early on than teams that had a bunch of turnover. So,
well, and the Chiefs, you always have to wonder if you're going to have the Super Bowl hangover. And right now, it's just magical. Is that Reed? What's his first name? I always called him Eric. Andy Reid is just showing us. He's always been a great coach, but he is really just right in the zone. Everything is going right. Patrick Mahomes. is just on fire all the time. And then they have this crazy litany of receivers and all of this talent on this team to the fact that we forget and we remembered last night that Sammy Watkins is really dang good.
They have an embarrassment of riches, and you're right. I was glad to scoop up Clyde Edwards-Helaire in another league. Glenn got him in our league, Tony.
And he was very public about it. Like, I mean, he was like, you guys should pick him. You should pick him.
Well, that's
and
just...
we didn't.
Yeah, he didn't. That's just Glenn talking junk. But he turned out to be right, because not only is he explosive, they gave him so many touches last night.
It literally could have been anybody, and I would have been just wild about it. I was so wild that I got to make the controversial pick early. Like, I was happy about it.
It wasn't controversial. Turns out it was.
I mean, by the time
brilliant.
by the time most people had the draft, I think he was going about 6th.
Do you remember what Glenn called his quarterback when he drafted him?
No, I don't.
He gave him a nickname that he would have given any quarterback. Josh Big Allen. Which, by the way, I think Nick Foles
has that nickname.
And sadly, there's only one quarterback in the league that can have that nickname, and it's Teddy BD. That's what we call him.
Teddy has the photos to prove it. All right. Why I mentioned it was a great fantasy night. Pat Mahomes, 3 touchdowns. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 138 yards and a touchdown. Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, Watkins all score touchdowns.
They're all getting in.
Even Deshaun Watson had 2 garbage touchdowns late. David Johnson, welcome back. I love David Johnson. Good to see him healthy.
For 8 minutes. Did you see him? They were looking at his hand, and I was like, oh, God.
I know. But
it's over.
Then he came back to make a 3rd catch for me, which was huge. 100 total yards and a touchdown. Will Fuller, 8 catches.
My guy. I've been
12 yards.
On the Will Fuller train since he came in as a rookie. And now the whole league is saying, well, now he's about to be a number 1 receiver. And we just have to see the same thing. It's him and David Johnson. Their whole offense is injury prone.
True.
Brandon Cooks,
yeah.
I didn't start him last night. Which was smart. He didn't do anything.
He didn't do much of anything. He had a big catch on the last drive, I think. No, that was Randall Cobb.
Be all right.
They have a Randall Cobb also.
Randall Cobb.
What a weird roster they have put together.
Do you guys think that Fuller's actually a number 1?
Probably not, but he's got a ton of talent. I mean, he takes the top off the defense. I don't know. Tony loves the guy.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, again, 8 for 112. I don't know how much of that was garbage time. He had, I think, like 40 yards when the game was still, mattered. But he's going to have number 1 numbers this year, probably.
Yeah.
Well, the Panthers got a receiver that reminds me a lot of him. Robbie Anderson and him.
Yeah.
I think they have a very similar game. I would just say Will Fuller is... I don't know. I think it just is the limitation of his size, I guess. Can he be just like a possession receiver as well? But he'll torch you downfield.
We talk a lot about guys that can and can't stay on the field a lot too, Tony. And when he plays,
he's great.
I would love to see like his, when he plays 100% of a game, what his numbers are.
He's like Curtis Samuel. That's what Curtis Samuel is.
I'm tired of Curtis Samuel being compared to anybody, right?
I'm the worst about Curtis Samuel.
I know
on the
you
podcast now. I'm like turned against him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but he does get a touchdown every 5 touches.
Right. But he
only had 5 touches in 2 years.
All right, so fun game last night, at least from a fantasy standpoint. We'll see if we're going to have those ugly games that you talked about, Pat. It depends on the teams, I guess, right?
There will be there's going to be a lot of ugly football on Sunday, I think.
So you are putting the Panthers in the category of no continuity for good. What about the Raiders? Do they have continuity?
On offense, yep. They did return 10 out of 11 starters until Tyrell Williams got put on IR. So really the only 2 people they're replacing are the 2 outside receivers.
Now they have, who's the Edwards receiver? Where's he? What's his
he's
story?
from South Carolina. This guy is a baller, man.
Yeah, so he was actually one of the guys I was most excited about when they drafted him. He's the guy I had penciled in, and he was coming off an injury, but big size, speed guy, right? So that guy that can play that traditional X, get the jump ball, fade route in the end zone. That's where Carr's really comfortable. He likes to throw it up. He likes to get those kind of jump balls in the end zone. When he had his best season, he's throwing to Crab all the time.
Yeah.
Crabtree. And so, you have that, and then you have the speed complement with Ruggs on the other side. So.
That was the in memoriam Al Davis draft pick, right?
Right.
Draft
exactly.
the fastest guy. Although,
that's a good point.
He's
And
a good receiver.
Bryan Edwards Jr., though, is arguably going to be the best receiver on that team when it's all said and done, I think, is that he runs like the wind, and he's 6'3". He's got NFL size. So there's kind of questions you had about Will Fuller. Can he be a number one?
Right.
It's like Bryan Edwards Jr. has the number one traits. It's going to be interesting. And that shows you what injury in, kind of your senior season on a bad football team can do to your draft stock. And, man, I think they got a gem here. Interestingly, though, the other gem that they traded away.
Right.
What was it? It's not Lynn Bowden?
Yep.
Yeah, and he was I think he was a running back. Was he a running back in college? Or
he played receiver, slot receiver. He started slot receiver,
right,
and then he ended up being Kentucky's starting quarterback.
That's what it was. It was and he got traded to Miami, and he was a 3rd round draft pick. Imagine that, trading your 3rd round draft pick that you picked that year away, right away, just cutting bait.
Only the football team and the Raiders would do something like that.
Yes.
Where's Zay Jones fit in?
So Zay's going to back up Ruggs. He's going to have a similar role. Gruden really likes him. He's got a man crush on Zay Jones.
I was going to say he had a great camp, but then again, everybody has a great camp, and we don't know until they actually get on the field and play.
I think one of the things that Gruden really likes is receivers that know all the receiver positions.
Right.
And that's what Cooper kind of struggled with when Amari was there, and that's why him and Gruden fell out. Zay apparently he's very smart. He knows all the receiving spots, so he can go in and kind of plug and play in anywhere.
I remember when Zay was a freshman here, it was almost like he was like a video game, like a Madden receiver, because he was so polished with his routes. Like you could tell he had a football dad, and he's been around football his whole life. And so I guess that speaks to what you're saying, that he very cerebral, and it's just can he make the big play on the field, and just hasn't done enough of that, I guess, in his career so far.
Yeah, and I think when he was in Buffalo, it's kind of a lot of pressure on him. He was a high draft pick. They were counting on him to be
a little more than they should have.
Exactly.
Probably it's not really fair. I won't say fair, but you got to do what you do when you're drafted. But he went a little higher than he needed to be. What was he, 2nd round guy?
Yep.
In a place that's never had a good QB. Maybe they do now,
and didn't have anybody else at receiver at the time to help take any pressure off of him.
Yep. So I think here you're gonna see how he fits into that receiving room, and I think he's a good piece to kind of fit and round it out.
Josh Jacobs was a guy that was kind of where do you take him in fantasy drafts? You need to get a running back early, but do you take Jacobs or do you take a Hopkins or an Adams or a receiver type of thing? So what about Jacobs this year?
So the word out of the beat writers, the Raiders beat writers, is that John Gruden is mad, very angry in the fact that Jacobs didn't win Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. So he's going to make it a point to just feed him and feed him and feed him and feed him.
And he should. I mean, the strength of your team right now, or at least on paper, we'll see if the age catches up with him, is at that on that offensive line. And then you get a 2nd-year running back who, what did he tore? Was it labrum that he tore?
Yep.
Yeah, last year. But he was on pace to I think he had 1,600 yards, or was going to be on pace to have 1,600 yards. Mm-hmm. So he's like more of a power type, not want to say a power back, but a guy that can go all 3 downs. You don't see those very often anymore. So he's got speed, he can burst, and he can hold up in an NFL game, it looks like, with those big boys. So he's exciting. That's where you really, all of a sudden, Oakland has a lot of things that Las Vegas, sorry.
Well, just all right.
First time.
Yeah, how many times are you going to say San Diego this year, too?
I'm still saying it, right? Yeah. So I really like that. I think that's why people are excited about the Las Vegas Raiders, is because really the strength of the team, there's some excitement on the outside. They are young, but you've got a running back right now that could be what Zeke Elliott was when he came into the league. And that's going to take pressure off of Carr.
Yep. And
we'll just see. Really, the questions go to the defense. Mm-hmm. Some improvements have been made on the defense. They added some linebackers.
It's no surprise that we've talked all offense. And Tony, with you, we've talked mostly offense this offseason. And I just looked up the total for this game, 47.5. Who's going to play defense in this game? Who's going to play it better?
The Raiders are young. on defense.
How about the Panthers?
Younger. Can you imagine that?
Young and
Think of
younger.
how young your team is on defense. We're younger than that. We have 2 players that are 30 on our team.
Nice.
31, and that's it.
Short.
And one of them came from the Raiders, Tier Whitehead.
Yeah.
Which I've heard a lot of Raider fans tell me.
I'm glad you guys have them.
So my point is, and we preview a lot of games here, whether it be ECU games or anything, and we kind of hype it up, or I do anyway, the way I think it's going to go, and a lot of times it'll go the opposite. I would be shocked if this is like a 17-14 game, though. I mean, these teams are going to score, right? This should be an entertaining game.
Well, that's what they tell us. All the signs say that that's
Right.
what it should be, but at the same time, like, you could have 2 teams, and there is a chance that Gruden comes out and they just feed Jacobs the whole time, and then the Panthers on the other side say, well, we really don't trust our secondary anything, so Christian McCaffrey. They have the two of the best running backs in the league are going to be on the field, and so there could be a case where this isn't as high scoring as we think. We want to look on paper and say, well, look, you got these exciting receivers on the outside. And that's the case for the Panthers too, is our talent, the known talent, is really on the offensive side of the ball. And then all the hype coming in around Joe Brady. But when we look at every game here, this is all going to be luck for us picking today, because we really have no idea. Not only do we have no idea, we have the least amount of information we've ever had picking. And turns out I'm not very good at it when I got information.
This could be your year.
This is my year.
Might be the thing that turns it around for you.
This could be Tony's week at
Less
least.
is more.
The Raiders have the tight end advantage in this game with Waller and
Witten.
Oh, I forgot about Jason Witten.
Yeah. So Witten's actually the third tight end. We actually have Foster Moreau, who actually has scored more touchdowns than Waller did last year. Kid out of LSU. It's his second year. He's coming back off of ACL. And then we have arguably the 4th best tight end in Derek Carrier. So John Gruden loves his tight end.
Former Washington Carrier. Yeah, okay.
You know, the irony of this is the Panthers actually have no tight ends on their team. No, we have 2 on the roster. One is Manhurts and one is Hurt. Ian Thomas.
One is Hurt, one is Manhurts. So are Derek Carr and Gruden, are they like roommates, living neighbors? What's their story now? Do they like each other? Does Gruden like Carr?
Carr, statistically, Carr had one of his best seasons ever last year, and this is his 3rd year in Gruden's system. He's kind of starting to see things like Gruden wants him to see. He needs to be more aggressive, obviously, but last year he really didn't have anything at receiver. Once Williams got hurt, there was really not, other than Waller, and it was just feed Waller the whole time. That's why Waller had 90 catches. There wasn't a whole lot of consistency in that offense. So I think Carr he's got a chance to have his best year ever, but at the same time, we kind of know what Carr is now, right? He's a control the game quarterback, try not to make a big mistake, but maybe we'll see angry Carr for a couple of minutes.
It's like we've got the same quarterback on the other side in Teddy Bridgewater, very similar, and both in the same draft class. I want to ask you this, is what does seeing the world like John Gruden, what does that mean? Not the world, but like the football game.
Yeah.
Is it angry and in platitudes?
No, I think, John Gruden traditionally, he has one of the most verbiage heavy offenses in the league, right? Lots of shifts, lots of audibles. And so getting on the same page with that takes a couple seasons, right? So knowing what each player's got to do is a lot to handle. And I think Carr's finally getting to the point where he knows he anticipates the next play that Gruden's going to call. So he understands kind of the whole offense now and not just executing the plays as they're called. He's actually contributing game plans, things like that.
Tony, would you rather have Derek Carr or Teddy Bridgewater as your starting quarterback?
For the season?
Yeah.
I would say Teddy right now.
Pat, you would take Carr.
Yeah.
Maybe a better question for me, non-biased.
There you go.
Yeah.
Who would you like to replace Haskins with?
Think of Teddy Bridgewater as Bortles in 20.
Okay, Carr.
No, man, fantasy wise.
We're talking football right now, Tony.
You're talking about like on the field.
Yeah, as you're starting. I
thought you meant like as a fantasy quarterback for the whole year.
The answer is probably the same for me. I would take Carr, I think. Yeah.
I have two questions. All right, so let's stick with this Carr conversation.
You have a lot of questions.
I do have a lot of questions, right? And I guess what, you want to bring me on for the answers on this show? I'm supposed to come on here and give you answers? No, I've got questions, and my question was coming to Carr. Talk about last year, and I always talk about how the winds changed based on what happened the year before. But Carr, at the beginning of last season, the entire NFL commentators and it seemed like the brass in Oakland at the time, now in Las Vegas, had given up on him. And now,
I know.
And now the conversation is, I'm reading articles, and it's like Carr slated for an MVP year.
No, I don't believe in that either. And I think both of these guys are obviously not like your top tier quarterbacks. Nope. But I like Teddy. Teddy's a winner.
You know who I like the most out of all the choices?
Cam Newton. Man, what if the Panthers had Cam Newton? You think that could ever happen? All right. Anyway,
is Witten's role on this team with Mayock to like just tutor under Mayock to become a better commentator in the future?
Yeah, I hope so.
That's your best question yet.
I think his big role is to be a red zone contributor. That's where the Raiders really struggled on offense last year, finishing drives. They were one of the worst. They were the 24th best team doing that. Sorry about it. Got to bring some numbers in. But yeah, hopefully that improves their red zone efficiency.
Yeah, but bad. I know the stats. The only team that was like worse had a worse secondary than the Panthers was the Raiders last year.
Yeah. Let's light up the scoreboard on Sunday, guys.
They also had a very good run defense, or not very good, a decent run defense last year. Yeah. The Panthers were horrendous in the run defense.
If I had to place a bet, I'd bet there's more points scored in your game than the Washington-Philadelphia game. Is that a safe bet?
Oh, that's a total safe bet because Ron Rivera's the coach. I mean, he's trying to grind this down to a 15-12 win.
Oh, okay. Matt Rule. What's Matt Rule trying to do?
Who knows?
We have no idea.
All right, let's take a timeout. We'll come back. We will make our selections for the week. Pat Ryder will be our guest picker today. We will talk more Raiders-Panthers and go through the entire slate of NFL Sunday and Monday night doubleheader. I like the Monday night doubleheader. Talk about that as well when we return on Pirate Radio Live after this.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
In studio with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you guys have a disinfecting service for homes and businesses.
Yes, we have a 2-step process that includes disinfecting and also provides 30 days of protection to all surfaces treated. We're doing this for 10 cents a square foot in businesses and $10 a room in your home.
Mike, how can folks get in touch with you?
Call me directly at my cell, 252-999-0001. Again, 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Or fixednc.com.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. More information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender.
Ahoy, mateys! To keep those cars clean, you need the Pirates Cove Fast Pass.
The new Pirates Cove Car Wash and Haviland Express Lube on Glen Burnie Road in New Bern is now open. Pirates Cove is now offering Fast Passes for $9.99 for new Fast Pass customers. These Fast Passes are good in New Bern and at all 3 Greenville locations. Visit us in Greenville on Fire Tower Road, Memorial Drive, and on East 10th Street. And now in New Bern on Glen Burnie Road.
So we have you surrounded. Pirates Cove, the official car wash partner of ECU Athletics.
Got big dreams for your small business? You're not alone. The Gavigan Agency Insurance Services is a growing business too. That's why they work with Nationwide, the #1 small total business insurer in the U.S. Nationwide can help protect and grow your business so you can focus on making your small business dreams come true. Give the Gavigan Agency Insurance Services a call today at 252-756-1400. Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval.
There have been many changes in the automotive world. At Phelps Chevrolet, the Phelps boys are here to take care of you. Mike, Daryl, and 4 of Mr. Phelps' grandsons, Wade, West, Allen, and Clay. You see, things at Phelps remain the same. The Phelps team has served Eastern North Carolina for over 50 years. We make your visit easy and fun. We are your neighbors, and that's what neighbors do. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Like Mr. Phelps' great-granddaughter says, come in and get you one.
How much does the word reliable mean? Sure, all businesses describe themselves as reliable, and we certainly wouldn't expect any business to be unreliable, but when you take a word like reliable and make it your way of life, the entire core of your business, it tends to mean a little more. And it's something you have to show people, not tell them. At Delcor, we show it by being there the same day you call. We show it by simply doing outstanding work with exceptional products, a family-oriented work ethic, and genuine caring for all of our neighbors throughout Eastern NC, because in a time of need, we know the first and the only thing you need is someone you can count on. That's why we only use equipment you can count on too, like a train comfort system. It's hard to stop a train. Delcor can have a new train comfort system installed in no time, or we can provide an AC tune-up to make sure your system is performing well. So will your system keep you cool all summer? Find out. Call us. We're Delcor, the service professionals, reliable for over 4 decades. Visit DelcorInc.com today.
This is assistant football coach Drew Dudzik, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Are you in outside sales and looking for an opportunity to increase your earning potential? Well, CopyPro has been in Eastern North Carolina for over 45 years and continues to grow each year, and they are in need of more sales professionals with a desire to potentially make a 6-figure income. Do you have what it takes? Visit copypro.net today to submit your resume and to learn more. And as we head back into Pirate Radio Live Clip, I've got some interesting news for you. As we were actually looking at this information earlier today, that a Houston radio station reported that the Memphis football team had 20-plus players test positive for COVID. Well, we just got additional information that another 20 are in quarantine due to contact tracing. So that's a total of 40 Memphis football players that are in either quarantine or have tested positive, and that seriously puts their September 18th game against Houston in jeopardy.
I mentioned last night that it's, tongue-in-cheek, borderline criminal that there's no college football game on tonight. Well, there is a game scheduled for next Friday night, Memphis and Houston, and as Shirley just said, that one's looking more and more unlikely. And yes, folks, I am kind of burying my head in the sand right now and talking NFL and enjoying life for 30 minutes just before I go back to the the negativity,
to the required sadness of COVID life.
Yes, exactly.
Well, just walk through the grocery store, and then you have to be quiet and sad. Melancholy.
Well, how do you like the grocery shop? Like partying and dancing? What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, gosh, I guess that's a good point. But, I mean, why don't you just go ahead and tweet about Monday Night Football a couple more times and ruin that for us? Clip sends out a tweet. He's like, man, we're about to have Monday Night Football every Monday. And I was like, oh, gosh, he straight ruins it.
No, so now you're the negative guy. I was trying to be positive.
Yeah.
What do you want me to be?
I don't know yet.
Who can I be for you?
Let me ask the questions around here.
No, I do have a question for you.
Okay.
So I asked you and Chandler last week who the backup running back for the Panthers was, and you released that guy. So now who's the backup?
Who, Reggie Bonifant?
Yeah, didn't you release him?
Mike Davis. Mike Davis is...
Old South Carolina?
Yeah, I think so. He's been around for a while.
He had like a 12-minute drive by himself against ECU to kill the clock one year.
Nice.
Is that the guy?
Clock killing Mike Davis.
He was good and then had some brutal injuries or injury.
You can look. I don't know anything about him. I don't know.
All
Who
right.
knows anything about this Carolina Panthers team? Is that
I was hoping you did.
The coaches don't even know anything about this team.
The good news is, according to analytics, running backs don't really matter. So you can plug and play anybody.
As we just said, these teams were going to have great running backs and be like that was the strength of these teams.
Mike Davis, South Carolina, 4th round, 2015 draft. That's the guy.
Oh man, so he's not even that old as I thought he was.
For running back years, he is like ancient.
Yep.
Yes.
So, no, he was good. Had some bad injuries though, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for 2 reasons. One, Pat said so. 2, you have Christian McCaffrey.
That's right.
Who's going to play every down.
Schmanalytics.
Well said. I think I have no further questions. We can just go into the picks, Tony Dunn, and we'll let you start. Raiders at Panthers. Raiders, by the way, a 3-point favorite going to Charlotte.
I'm going to start off this season by picking the Panthers because that's what has been typically my MO as I've been here, right, and doing this for now, 7 years we've probably been doing picks maybe.
Man.
It's been a long time at this point.
Has, yeah.
I don't know if I've ever won. I always am winning like 80% of the way, and then Clip makes this late run.
I feel like last year I pretty much cruised.
That was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe it was last year.
None of us remember.
No, it seems like ages ago since we've seen football. No, I don't know. Is that I'm just kind of hoping that surprise factor here. I know that the Raiders is the safer pick at this point, but I don't feel like that you guys know as much about your team as people act like. And maybe the continuity with the quarterback is really the main driving force by why the Raiders have a real advantage. But the Panthers, you don't know what you're going to get with this team, but we do still have some talent. Ultimately, let's not forget that Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the NFL, and that hopefully DJ Moore, and hopefully that Joe Brady lives up to the hype. So week 1, this is the one time I think we can win. The rest of the year, I will be picking against the Panthers unless they just catch fire.
I was about to say something very similar to that. I like the Panthers week 1. I don't like them in 2020. I don't think they're going to be a good team, but maybe it's the surprise factor. Nobody knows what Brady and Rule and Bridgewater are going to do on offense. So, Pat, it's not against your Raiders. It's just more of like a gut feel. Panthers win week 1 and then tank the rest of the year type of thing.
Yeah. So you guys are both wrong. Raiders gonna win.
The Raiders. What is your outlook for the entire season?
I think 9 and 10 wins. Challenge for a wild card. Be in the mix. They're not gonna win the division.
So the Chiefs are gonna run away with the West.
Yep.
And then who's the second best team? I think that's a good question, right?
Yeah, that's definitely a good question. I like the Raiders. Chargers breaking in a new quarterback.
So they're going with Taylor to start.
Yep.
And then they'll bring in the rookie at some point.
Right. I think Von Miller injury really hurts the Broncos. So sticking with continuity and that idea, I think the Raiders are the second place team.
The Chargers, good defense, right? But the Derwin James, gosh, is he one of the players for me? As you asked about a player that we would buy a jersey for that was on another team, and Derwin James is my answer. But isn't he? He's like one of the best players that doesn't play.
Yeah,
that's always hurt. Will Fuller. I mean, he's way better than Will Fuller is as a receiver, but he's great.
He's a myth at this point.
Yeah. I think, the Raiders, though, the floor is 9, right?
Yep.
Isn't anything below 9 is...
I don't know if the floor...
Whoa, no.
8's probably the floor, right?
I guess expectation floor.
6
is what I mean.
The
they went 4 in Gruden's first year, 6 last year, right? I mean, now it's time... 7. Now it's time to get over the hump, you would think. I think wild card is the way. I mean, maybe you can get there. That's what you're hoping for.
Y'all like the Raiders a lot more than I do this season.
That's okay.
That's typically the
I don't
case.
like them. I'm saying that's what you should be thinking if you're looking at rebuilding and retooling a team. I heard a cool stat. This is that 2 years ago, there's not a defensive starter on this team that was there when Gruden took over. It's completely redone. It's the Panthers. What the Panthers are in the midst of doing.
I want my question to be who won the Mac trade, but how about what have you gotten from the Mac trade? Do you know the...
Josh Jacobs is one of the pieces.
Not bad.
And then who do we get this year?
What round?
Damon Arnett. So he was the...
And he's going to be starting.
Yeah, he's their starting corner.
So you're obviously looking back on it right now. You're fine with it. At the time,
Yeah.
what were you?
I mean, Khalil Mack was one of my favorite players, man. You know, you got a guy that just totally can take over a game, and
it stinks when you don't have a great team, which y'all might have been decent at that time. But like you watch the game for certain players, and then you trade them away. Then it's like, wow, what am I watching for now?
Yeah, I don't usually invest in jerseys, and I bought a Khalil Mack jersey that summer.
Never
and then they
again.
got traded, and then I bought a Amari Cooper. Jersey, and then he got traded. And so now I'm just buying Bo Jackson.
How does the Courtney Cox factor come into this with David Arnett?
I didn't know where you were going with that.
Hey, well, we've showed my kids the movie Scream.
And I thought Pat was talking about David Amerson, who played for Washington and the Raiders, right? Former state corner.
That's right.
David Arnett, former WCW champion, although that's David Arquette that we are referring to.
That's who it is.
All right, Seahawks, Falcons. I want to take the Seahawks, but my gambling people I've had on this week say go with Atlanta, so I'm going to tail them and take the Falcons at home.
I like the Falcons. I think the Falcons could surprise and win the NFC South this year. I know that's crazy to say. I think it's not going to be the Saints. I'm putting it out there. I think Tampa Bay is the favorite to win. I think Todd Gurley. We see a Todd Gurley resurgence here in Atlanta.
He loves.
He said,
Gurley.
yeah, and he said this. He said he loves Atlanta. It's like the Black Hollywood. He called it. This man is about to be a star again. They got a lot of talent, and their coach has to win this year, right? He's got to win. But then you got the Russell Wilson factor. But I'm going to take the Falcons at home this game.
Pat.
I'm going to go Seahawks. Just Russell Wilson's the top 3 quarterback in the league. I always pick quarterbacks when it's close.
Pat is going West Coast to East Coast with the first two, which he said doesn't matter. So why wouldn't he? Jets at Bills. The Bills, Tony. The Bills were your team a couple years ago, like the Bucks were mine, where we just picked bad teams we thought were going to be good, and were crappy. Bills are very popular amongst the pickers this year. How about week 1?
Week 1, yes. I think the problem with the Bills going forward is, A, they got all the old Panther players, right? And B, they're kind of old. When you look at their roster is older, and I just don't. I think it's going to be the Patriots. It's going to be Cam Newton there. We'll see if your boy Glenn can get the ball to Diggs. That's really going to be the question. And if he doesn't, Diggs is going to have a meltdown. He'll be traded before the season's over for probably Zay Jones.
That is interesting that Diggs kind of had his issues with Kirk Cousins, and then he goes to Josh Allen, who is not the most accurate quarterback in the league. But what do you think about the Bills and Jets, Pat?
I like the Bills. I do think this one, though, is going to be closer than they think. I think the Jets will play pretty good.
Why do you think Le'Veon is going to play a role in this? Because I think the Jets are awful. And I think the reason they're awful starts with the guy that can't look at the camera well, and he looks at the flies all around. Adam Gase somebody's got to kick this dude out of football, right? Is that this is one of those picks that we keep moving around based on one thing that happened. What was
he was Peyton Manning's offensive coordinator?
Yes,
and
then other than that, he is not head coach material. I mean, nobody likes him, including the best players on his own team.
Yeah, that's true. But I think in this case, like I said, early season, Josh Allen is very variable. So, if he turns the ball over a couple times, you got a whole different ball game. And I think there's a lot of potential for him to do that.
Bills, by the way, a 6.5 point favorite.
Was it the playoff game with Josh Allen last year where he went and he looked like he forgot what he was doing, and he just threw the football over the back of his head?
Yep, that was playoff Josh. And
gosh, he was the stage was a little too big for him.
All right, I think the North is interesting this year in the NFC. I don't love the Vikings or the Packers really, and maybe the Bears or Lions could overtake them. Bears and Lions is the matchup here in week 1. I like the Lions here. They're 2.5 point favorites at home, and I'm going to pick them to win this game.
I'm tired of liking the Lions.
Yeah.
Gosh,
you have lost a ton of games with the Lions since we've been doing this.
Yes, and they should be better. They should just be better. They have a quarterback They have some guys on defense that really can play.
They went through a stretch where they only drafted receivers early. Remember that with Roy Williams and Charles Rogers.
Yeah.
And the good one was Calvin.
Yep.
But now they're drafting running backs early. They got DeAndre Swift, your boy from Georgia, Tony. They got Kerryon Johnson still on the roster.
Adrian Peterson.
And
who has almost played for every team in the North, I think.
That's right. He's the White Walker of football.
I like the Lions here, Clip. I don't know what to think of the Bears. Is Trubisky going to come out and light it on fire?
No.
No, I don't think so either. And I'm surprised you don't like the Packers that much. Like, what's not to really like about the Packers is that they're just slow and steadily, incrementally getting better. You know, it's not flashy.
Do they have Angry Rodgers since they drafted Jordan Love?
That's a great question. Is that like really that problematic? To have in the locker room? I don't think so.
Well, I'm taking the Lions. You're taking the Lions.
I'm gonna take the Bears.
No,
Galladay's doubtful,
and
so
like
that's
Galladay.
a big piece of that. So I think the Bears are going to come out, play good defense, and win a close one.
Galladay. By the way, Glenn really made me angry during our draft when he said, "I'm not taking Galladay," and I was like, "I know you're not. He's a keeper." And Glenn was like, "Good, he stinks." Kenny Galladay is a good to great wide receiver, and now he's not going to play, and Glenn's going to be like laughing.
Turns out I got the best receiver on that team,
Marvin.
Yeah,
my ex-boyfriend Marvin
That's right.
Jones. Packers at Vikings. Here we go, north and north again.
Give me the Packers here, Clip. What is the like about the Vikings right now?
You like that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Angry Rodgers and the Packers too.
Angry
is
Rodgers.
way more intimidating than angry Kirk Cousins.
That is true. The voice only gets squeakier the angrier he gets.
It really stinks they lost. What was the DH Hunter for the
Danielle
Vikings?
Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, is that the strength was going to come on that defensive line? You lose that, you just got Njoku. Not Njoku.
Linville is
Who's
a
the guy?
Charger. Is this his first year away from Minnesota? Or help me out, my brain's not working right. I think so. Yeah,
you're right.
Angry Rodgers. All right, we'll sweep it. Give me the Packers. Shirley Rhodes Dolphins at the Patriots. Tony has never picked against Cam Newton here on the pick'em.
It's not happening today. It's not happening this year. Comeback player of the year. Right, go ahead, mark it down. Super Bowl matchup is going to be the Patriots versus the Buccaneers in the greatest potential matchup and storylines you can have. I'm telling you, Cam is about to go. He's about to go off right now, at least in week 1.
I feel like there's too much love from Belichick to Cam right now. This is going to end poorly.
Yeah.
Like the
poorly.
It's over the top at this point.
Would you not gush if you had Cam Newton? I mean, what have I done?
Then again, that's all you've ever done. Now Belichick is you are Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is you.
I am just a young version of Bill Belichick. Okay. I'm going to go to the grocery store and be sad and medically in COVID land.
I got to talk more to you about what you usually do at the grocery store. Are you the guy like in the TV shows that like flips the melons into his cart behind the bag?
Like, Doritos, 2 for $7. Fill up the cart.
Dun, 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 dun. Give me the Patriots.
I like the Patriots here too. They're actually my survivor pick this week. So.
Right on.
Wow, we should talk about that too. Interesting. All right, the Eagles at the Washington football team. Want a quick Washington breakdown?
Yeah, please tell us anything to be known about this team.
Top 5 defensive line in the league, Pat. What do your numbers say?
I don't look at the football team that much. I'll tell you what, I'll run some and send you an email.
I love it. They got Chase Young, obviously, which is super sexy.
Ron Rivera's about to slay it with that defensive line.
They got the Bama boys up front, and Jonathan Allen, if he's healthy, going to have a big year. Cameron Payne. Love Matt Ioannidis, one of the most underrated players, a Temple guy, who you will have soon because Matt Rule's getting all the Temple guys. And then Montez Sweat is a pass rusher. Ryan Kerrigan's older, never been great, but solid. I like their front 4. I don't know anybody they have in the secondary. that is going to be a concern.
This is a Ron Rivera team.
Everything I'm describing.
Everything. The stars are aligned for you to go 12-4. You are the 2013 Carolina Panthers.
Okay, I don't know if our quarterback is Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah. Second year. No, Cam would have been in his third year that year. So
Terry McLaurin.
Next year, you're slated for 12-4.
Terry McLaurin is going to have 115 catches because there's no other targets.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the offense. But, Tony, what do I like to do? I like to pick my team at least early in the year.
Yeah.
And believe in them.
You should.
And the Eagles are like already hurt somehow.
And problems in the locker room with Zach Ertz being upset about his contract.
I don't know how. Yeah, maybe.
And then they're going to feed Dallas Goedert right now. Goddard.
You call him Goedert because he's on your team and you want him to be the GOAT?
I guess so.
Is he on your team?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. I'm taking Washington. They, I probably shouldn't, but
I'm taking the Eagles here because I want to see what the football team can do. But I want to say this is the most surprising part about this Washington team is that y'all cut Adrian Peterson. And the reason I say that is because Ron Rivera, how's he going to give the keys over to this young guy that we don't know anything about, but is all of a sudden shot up the board? I'm
fascinated about Antonio Gibson.
Thank you.
Who is a major unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know him, Pat? Can you tell me about him?
A lot of, running backs don't matter. So you're gonna plug him in, and you're gonna get the exact same production that you would get with Adrian.
These analytics people and running backs.
Yeah, it's a little too.
I don't buy it.
Yeah, Pat, you're a little too smart for me. What's your pick here?
I'm gonna go the Eagles. Okay, but closer than the experts think.
Oh, good. Yeah. Aren't you an expert?
No.
Closer than you think?
We're the experts.
Boy, what
here.
a mind blown. It's closer.
What's the line on that game?
5.5. It's gone down.
Oh, okay.
People believe in the team. We need to let's take a break here. We'll do one more segment with Tony and Pat, get some more picks in. Got Brian North coming up in a little bit. Talk some college football, NFL, and more with North. Got Rick Smith and Morgan Ahlers coming in during the 5 o'clock hour, and we'll open up the booty bag. Still a lot to go on Pirate Radio Live. We'll have more for you after this.
Hey guys, do you not look your best? Do your hair and nails need some work? When is the last time you looked at your feet? Guys, I can assure you that the ladies love a nicely groomed man. I'm Amanda and I have the solution. The Man Cave is now open, offering salon services for men only. Men, come enjoy the complimentary lounge before or after your service with free food, drinks, and pool table. The Man Cave, now open on the corner of Fire Tower and Evans, Greenville.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, get an all-new 2020 Buick Enclave and save over $9,500 off. As always, Brown & Wood is the home of the lifetime warranty.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
In studio today with Showboat, also known as Kyle Alligood, to his friends and family. Why F3?
I come to F3 for just good old brotherhood and fellowship, and to get out the far side, to come out here to get my heart and my mind right. And just being around these group of guys every day just makes me a better person.
1 letter, 1 number, F3. Fitness, fellowship, and faith. All workouts are free of charge and open to all men. Leave no man behind, but leave no man where you find him. Learn more today at f3enc.com. Do you think you might have been exposed to COVID-19? Maybe you're planning to visit parents, family, or friends. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville offers easy solutions to COVID-19 testing. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
If you're like many, you may have put on the Corona 5, 10, or even 15 over the last 2 months. Well, the weather is warm and it's time to get that body back on track. At Clean Eats, we have you covered. Our weekly meal plan will quickly help you get back to where you want to be. Order online at cleaneats.com. Our cafe is back open, sanitized, and waiting to serve you healthy lunch and dinner options for dine-in, takeout, curbside, or even delivered through our delivery partners. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. For starters, they love a nice, cold Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's delicious, it's refreshing, and it has zero sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. Because who decided beef shouldn't have a buddy? And a drink with their feast? Yeah, they have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. No compromises there. Oh, and when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. They're the kind of person jorts were made for. 50% jeans, 50% shorts, 100% the most comfortable thing that's ever graced your wardrobe. Not compromising never looked so good. So crack open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and taste what it's like to have it all. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar done right. That's what I like.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, W224EI Greenville, WDLX Washington, and W281CH Washington. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Does the idea of going to your local U.S. Cellular store make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Tired of the hassle of waiting and wearing a mask? Well, let Toby Williams and his outside sales team take away that worry. They'll come right to your home or office and drop your phone off on the porch or at the front desk for you. Saving you time and worry is what the team at Cellular Warehouse is all about. Call Toby today at 252-799-7051 and let them help you with all of your wireless needs. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent. And as we head back in to Pirate Radio Live.
Is this bad news?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Hold on.
Shirley.
Yeah, let me...
Every time Shirley says, and as we head back in, I get nervous.
So I've got to officially break out the bad news.
Yep.
Memphis has formally announced that they are pausing all activities and additional information has been released. Apparently, the outbreak derived from a party bus that some of the team members participated in after they defeated Central Arkansas. So there you go.
I call lies.
Why?
Because it's always a party bus. It's always a party.
If I had $1
for every time a pandemic happened because of a party bus.
The old Central Arkansas post-game party bus. Unbelievable. All right, well, no Memphis-Houston next Friday, folks. That's not good. All right, we do have plenty of games to preview tomorrow. We'll do that with Brian North coming up, talk some college football and some NFL with him. But, guys, still some more picks to be made. I was wondering why Chad, the Titans fan, would be chiming in, and we haven't talked about the Titans, but here's why. He says, Carr is done by week 5. Chucky loves Mariota.
No, he's on IR.
I was hurt, so.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
And terrible.
Sorry, Titans fan.
And turns out
and he's been
awful.
terrible in camp. So.
All right. Okay.
Should have got Cam.
Chad, you are you're no longer my Titans analyst or NFL analyst with that information. Colts at Jaguars. The Jags are one of 2 teams that will have fans in week 1. We saw the first last night in Arrowhead. Colts are a big favorite. They are a popular survivor pick this week, Pat. I see a scenario where the 2 running backs that don't matter, Mack and Taylor, just run roughshod.
Don't tell me that because I need. Who's the new running back for the Colts?
Taylor.
Oh, okay.
Jonathan
I
Taylor.
thought you said Mac.
Mac.
He did.
I had Marlon
And
Mack
Taylor.
and Taylor.
He said both.
Oh, same team doing well.
Yeah.
All right. So
one of those like both guys have 100-yard games.
This is why I shouldn't have. I should have been paying attention.
Are you starting Taylor?
Yes.
Okay.
I need to. I have to because all y'all jerks kept all the good running backs for the last 2 years. I am starting Alvin Kamara too. I'm one of those jerks. Alvin.
Okay.
Alvin.
I'm taking the Colts.
I tell you this is that there's only one Hall of Fame quarterback on the field in this game, and it's Gardner Minshew. I'm going to take the Colts here. Phillip Rivers, though, does throw 3 picks in this game.
Colts.
I am upset, Tony. Most of my NFL life has been watching at about 7:20. Phillip Rivers with the ball with a chance to win.
Looking up to the heavens.
Looking to the heavens after an interception. And now it's going to be in the 1 o'clock window, and I don't like it. I like it in that 4 o'clock window. So, man, okay.
Man, I wonder, we'll see. I want to see what he does there. Is that I've never been a fan of him, period.
I think he hands the ball off quite a bit.
Yeah.
Ravens at home against the Browns. We're all taking the Ravens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chargers at Bengals is a tough one for me, and I think I'm going to take the home team.
I have a question before we move on. How did the Odell story go away so quickly? Just it. I don't want to talk about the actual story, but it was a one day.
Because here's what it was. It was
poof in the wind.
It was 3 nobodies talking at a table, kind of like right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they just made up a story.
Oh, so it was completely fabricated?
I don't know, Tony. I have not confirmed if he likes to get pooped on.
No, I didn't want to go into the dirty details of it, but it was the biggest story, and then I haven't seen one word of it since.
Glenn, what do you... I don't even want to go to you, but what are you about to say?
Silent but deadly.
Got flushed in one news song.
Very good.
Right. That was a Shirley line.
Way to go, Shirley. You delivered it well. That was good.
Ravens here, and then we're going Chargers, Bengals. Yeah. Is that next? Give me the Chargers. I saw a crazy. Did you see the stat last night where they were talking about the teams that were projected to have the most wins, and then they flipped to the one and and he goes, "Where are the Bengals at?"
No Washington up there on the bottom either. That was good to see.
That was strange. The Bengals are not going to be good all of a sudden, are they?
Nah, but I'm going to take them. It's kind of like my Panthers pick. Like week 1, they find some magic, some Joey. I am kind of nervous, though, Pat, about Bosa and Ingram and Linval Joseph absolutely wrecking the debut of Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I think the Bengals are good at skill positions. The offensive line is still questionable, and the strength of the Chargers defense is that defensive line, like you said. The other thing I like about the Chargers, they got Tyrod Taylor, who is always serviceable, right? He always wins a few games at the beginning of the season, and then he's a classic.
You know what I love about Tyrod Taylor is tuning in about 7:15 and not seeing him look up to the heavens and throw an interception.
All right, so y'all are going Chargers. I'm going to go Bengals. All right. Bucks at Saints. This is the headliner of the week. Brady and his new friends in Tampa taking on Breeze in an empty Superdome, which is very sad. Mike Evans is doubtful for the game. Thank you.
Doubtful?
Yes.
No. Why?
You got him too?
I think so.
I don't know.
I don't know which league though.
He's got a hammy, Tony. Bad hammy.
That stinks.
Yeah,
that's tough. Did you hear they got Leonard Fournette though?
I did. I like him this year. I don't like him Pat, you know what, man?
That's the thing.
Why even have a running back position?
Don't matter.
Running back position matters, but the person filling the position doesn't matter.
No, Leonard Fournette is clock killing Corey Dillon of today.
Was that his nickname?
Yes.
I never heard that. I love that nickname.
I have a Patriots fan that told me that. That's my friend Cliff. He's probably listening right now.
That's a great nickname.
Isn't it awesome?
I'm going Saints.
I am going to go Saints now just because of Mike Evans news. I was going to go Bucks.
Pat?
Definitely Saints. I think the Bucks are overrated. I know that.
Why are the Saints not overrated?
The Saints have a good defense. They have a strong defense. They got Drew Brees, Mike Thomas. They're a pretty solid team.
What's their defensive end that's always talking junk about Cam Jordan? Yeah. Isn't he old at this point? Like, when is he ever going to age, this guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Why is their defense so good?
They got a really good, strong secondary. Good. They're good at every level, honestly. Good pass rush, good scheme. So they're just really strong, and they're gonna be a handful, especially when you're down a receiver.
All right, I'm in 3 fantasy leagues. I have boring Matt Ryan, who might be okay at quarterback. I got Deshaun Watson because I love him, and I got Kyler Murray, and I'm super excited about that.
Me too.
I don't know if they win week 1, but I don't know. What do you think about the Cardinals in 2020, Pat?
They're going to throw a lot, which is good. Analytics say throw the ball a lot. Hopkins can do nothing but help. They still got Fitzgerald. I think he's kind of the underrated one.
Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I think they're going to be good.
They're going to be fun.
Can they play defense?
Yeah.
But that, from a fantasy perspective, that's
analytics tells us that doesn't matter. Just run more offensive plays.
I'll go 49ers over the Cardinals.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're playing the 49ers. Ugh. Man, the 49ers against their defense. Last year was unstoppable. I mean, they were the best defense in the league. It looked like. I mean, period. And then, but they got rid of. Who did they get? They traded away one of their defensive tackles, and then they're trying to sub in some rookies. So you want to see if they can keep that continuity. But Jimmy G is going to get the W, but he has been horrendous. I'm excited about the Arizona Cardinals. I'm not ready to pick them in week 1. Give me the 49ers.
I'm going to take Cardinals.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, because defense doesn't matter.
The Niners had so many defensive linemen last year, they didn't want to cut. Was it Contavious Street? It was a local kid, I believe. Yeah. And, they just put him on IR because they wanted to keep him and not cut him. And, they had an embarrassment of riches, basically,
definitely.
at that position. Cowboys at Rams. This should be an interesting one on Sunday night. Unfortunately, I'm going to say the Cowboys win, and I think they might win a lot of games this year.
Yeah, I mean, is that McCarthy? There's excitement there. Dak Prescott is serviceable, right?
Sure.
So he's like a cooler version of Tyrod Taylor. No,
yeah, okay.
I don't know. Is that I think a lot of people have questioned the Cowboys' defense, but I don't think you should as much as is that team had a really good defense 2 years ago. Now they did get McCoy, who went out on IR, and then they went after.
Did you see the video of his injury?
No,
it was so fluky. It stinks.
Really? Now, at this point, we should have known that was going to happen.
Yeah.
You didn't rely a lot on him, and they've got Don Terry Poe. They've got some old Panthers.
Off the Panthers scrap heap. Huh.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cowboys here. I don't know if I believe in the Rams really,
because they don't have Gurley anymore.
That's exactly right,
Pat.
Yeah, I like the Cowboys in this one too. I think the Cowboys are another one of those teams that brought a lot of people back on offense, continuity on offense. They're going to score early, and it's going to be tough to keep up with.
And they have an inconsequential running back in Ezekiel.
It doesn't matter. I always joke that the Cowboys and Giants play on primetime every week. And this week, they have the Cowboys on Sunday night and the Giants on Monday night. So nice. And that we get them. Why put them together when you can have them ruin 2 nights of football? Daniel Jones and the Giants taking on Big Ben and his return and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I will take the Steelers on the road.
This is tough for me. I kind of want the Giants at home here. I've heard that the offense for the Steelers has been lackluster in this training camp. Some beat writer that I was just listening to on the radio or reading some random blog. So I don't know. They basically said Juju's the only guy, and he wasn't even that exciting.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Giants here, actually.
Wow.
I want to say Saquon Barkley. Gosh, all we do is reference running back.
Running back.
Like,
we have learned today.
That's why we don't have
position.
jobs in NFLs or PhDs in analytics. So we are anecdotal analysts here. And I'm going to take the Giants. They can't be as bad as they've been.
Okay, they can. Pat?
I like the Giants here too, actually. I think they're going to surprise some people this year. So the Steelers, Ben coming back off injury, it's going to take a little while to kind of mesh with the new guys. So,
and the Giants have the top receiver on the field in this game in Golden Tate.
Tony, big Golden Tate guy. All right, Titans at Broncos. Love the Monday night doubleheader. This will be the late night game. Broncos will be without Von Miller. could be without Cortland Sutton, although the news on him was better than we first thought when he left the practice field just yesterday, I believe. Titans are tough. They have Tana Thrill, as we learned to call him last year, Tony.
They also have Jadavian Clowney now.
That they do. Forgot about that.
I'm taking the Titans here. Is that I am happy to hear about this Cortland Sutherland injury.
Sutton.
Because
You're thinking of Donald Sutherland.
Thank you. Donald. No, I'm not. That is not who I was thinking about.
Oh, Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, totally. 24. No, I got Jerry Jeudy. I need him to do well.
Okay.
So I think that gives him more targets.
Yeah.
Indeed. I'll take the Titans. Tony's got the Titans. Pat's got
Titans.
All right. Titans sweep. Guys, enjoyed it. Pat, thanks for coming by, giving us some of your knowledge.
Yeah.
Tony, good luck to you.
If you make fun of me about getting a name wrong again, I'm calling you Cliff forever.
Well, today you had the was it time killing Corey Dillon?
Yeah, clock killing
Corey Dillon.
I did steal that one.
But that makes up for all the names you got wrong.
Yeah, and I will continue to get them wrong all season long.
All right, we will take a time out. Come back. Toot chiming in. Anti-Americans. No one should be watching or listening to these idiots.
We are Americans, though.
And are we the idiots or the football players the idiots?
I'm very well maybe an idiot, but that makes you an idiot for listening to an idiot.
Yeah, and you're watching and listening.
Yeah.
Idiot. All right, we'll take a time out, come back. Brian North. Is he an idiot? We'll find out after this.
You know, texting while driving is dangerous. That's not new information. Yet most people admit to doing it anyway. Drivers are 23 times more likely to be involved in a car accident while texting. Know the facts and wait to text. The danger is real and it applies to you. Auto Owners Insurance. The no problem people. Information provided by Virginia Tech Transportation Institute.
This is Norm Bryant with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates.
In studio today with Dr. Shondell Jones from Kinetic Physical Therapy. How can you help people with back pain?
Well, you know, most people are going to have back pain at some point during their life, but you don't have to live with it. A bad MRI or a bad x-ray does not mean you're destined to always have pain. We have specialists that are well trained to find out what the true problem is and the true source of your pain so they can get you on track to feeling better. So don't suffer with back pain. Our nationally board certified specialists are here to help you. To learn more, visit us at kptonline.com. We can help you live well, move more, and hurt less.
The Frells family lives on a lush piece of land called greener pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Get quality at every turn with Quality Equipment, your local John Deere dealer, with 27 locations in North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. Find out more at QualityEquip.com.
Hey, Dad, what's for dinner?
How about CPW's?
Is that the restaurant with the really good lasagna?
It sure is.
Is that the place we got the awesome meat pizza?
Yep, that's the place. Should we do dine in or take out?
I'm tired of eating it. Let's go there!
Just say no to cooking tonight and bring the family, or make it a date night at CPW's. CPW's is open daily at 3 p.m. and has been serving the Greenville community since 1995. CPW's in the Food Lion Shopping Center near the hospital.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. For starters, they love a nice, cold Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's delicious, it's refreshing, and it has zero sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. Because who decided beef shouldn't have a buddy? And a drink with their feast? Yeah, they have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. No compromises there. Oh, and when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. They're the kind of person jorts were made for. 50% jeans, 50% shorts, 100% the most comfortable thing that's ever graced your wardrobe. Not compromising never looked so good. So crack open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and taste what it's like to have it all. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar done right. That's what I like.
Hey, welcome to Jack Brown's.
Hey, can I get a cheeseburger and add lettuce and tomato?
No, we don't have it. You can get some macaroni and barbecue chips on it, though. Greg Brady style.
Or cream cheese and jalapeno jelly.
Cobra Kai. Or bacon, a fried egg, and some cheese. Chiplet.
Or just cheese, like a cheeseburger.
Cool. I'll take a Greg Brady with those new cheese fries you guys got.
Sounds good.
Oh, I forgot. Can I get us out of ranch?
No! Jack Brown's, 805 Dickinson Avenue, Greenville.
Over 32 years ago, the Ronald McDonald House of Eastern North Carolina opened its doors as a place to help families stay together and close to the care they need when they have a sick child. With the addition of a second Ronald McDonald House inside the Maynard Children's Hospital, our need to serve is greater than ever as the medical community flourishes. Help us expand our mission of keeping families close as we grow to meet that need. You can show your support by making a donation to the Ronald McDonald House. Visit our website today at rmhenc.org for more information. Thank you for your support.
This is Stephen Igo, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. PRL this afternoon is brought to you by Bud Light, who reminds Pirate fans to always stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock. What was that fist pump for?
There's only 2 words you say after you read the ad. It's either now or and if it's now, that's good.
That's a crutch I've got to get rid of.
No, it's not. Now let's head back into that's good. But when you say and as we head back into break, and worries me because that means you have news. And I don't know if you've noticed, Shirley, but there's a lot of bad news floating around.
Yeah, but I'm going to have to switch up my words just to throw you off.
Yeah, think of that. You break out the thesaurus and come up with some new words.
Thesaurus?
Shirley did have some news earlier that I will discuss right now with Brian North from WCTI 12, who joins us on the Fixed NC Live line. North, how you doing, man?
I'm a little salty today.
Oh, no.
Just, in one of them moods today. So tread carefully. I might get fired. This is one of those days where you just don't feel like taking anything. So Friday.
All right. Well, I'm not going to give you any if you can't take it.
It's never you.
I know.
I was riding my lawnmower today thinking about you, going,
oh boy,
how does Clip handle all those fifth quarters with all those call-ins and all those people saying not always the most intelligent things and not respond in a way that he keeps his job. So I deeper respect for you today while riding my lawnmower.
It's alcohol and it's. I don't like. I don't like confrontation. I try to get along with everyone, North. I try to hear everyone's point of view, even if I disagree with it. And I guess I go home and scream into a pillow at night and get it all out. I don't know. I mean, but it's fun, and I'm just hoping we can have a few of those shows this year, Brian. Looking forward to it. And if we do. And when we do, Rick Smith is going to be a part of it this year. So we'll see how he takes the calls. But man, it's going to be awesome to have Coach Smith because the show is for celebrating, ranting, raving, whatever you want to do after a game. Anybody can call in and say what they got to say. But also, people have questions about plays, and that's certainly where Coach Smith will come in, diagnosing what happened on certain plays in ECU football games. So excited about that, and he'll join us in about 30 minutes too, Brian. So there you go.
Pretty cool. He's not quite super salty, but he's certainly got an honesty button on him that is always fun to listen to.
Yes, we'll say is that your superhero character, Super Salty? Super Salt Man. Brian North joining us today. Brian, I mentioned some news earlier Shirley had. Maybe, you know what you need, Brian? You need a fun weekend night on a party bus. And apparently that got Memphis football in a little trouble. So a story came out earlier this afternoon that Memphis had 20 plus cases of coronavirus in their game with Houston next Friday night is in jeopardy. Since then, Shirley mentioned a moment ago that there are reports that came from a post-game victory over Arkansas State party bus. and that's how it spread. Now I don't know if it's true. I haven't really dove into this, just hearing it for the first time. But the post-game party bus, maybe not a good idea in COVID times.
Well, so I keep mentioning this has been a theme lately on social media posts. Temptation is the hardest thing to deal with in life, right? I mean, when you get opportunities to do things that probably aren't the smartest things to do, but the temptation of having a good time, having a life experience that you can talk about in the future, sometimes you have to say no to those things for the greater good of, like playing a season. So temptation, the hardest thing to deal with in life and say no is not always easy for young people. So, but now they pay the consequences of doing so, and again, it could mess with their season going forward. And look, ECU's had to deal with that too, right? I mean, with all the parties that were going on campus, like Houston trying to keep his players from getting in those situations, and then they had to shut down for a while. And these are life lessons. It's just you quit repeating them once you've learned it the first time. And this will be the interesting thing with football. Look, you only have so many games to play in football. So to me, you always have the rest of your life to go get on party buses and do those things. You only have so many chances to play football in your life. So to me, that would be the message as a coach. You keep trying to tell your guys, but still, it's tough when you're in that situation to say no when somebody says get on the party bus and do all the fun things that people want to do on party buses.
When you're talking there, it reminded me of a Mike Houston cut that we're gonna run. What Mike Houston had to say yesterday in the 5 o'clock hour. But Shirley, hit cut 5. Mike Houston was asked about what game week will be like and where will the players stay, and he talks a little bit about testing, but he kind of talked about what the players do when they go away from practice, from team activities, and how careful they have to be. And here's what he had to say.
We're going to try as much as we can to create a bubble from our Friday test on. So, we're testing 3 times a week. We'll be testing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That should guarantee as much as possible that you're going to have nobody inside that travel party group that is tested positive. And we're going to try as much as we can to keep them from having any outside contact with anyone. So we will be at a hotel. We're going to have very strict procedures and protocols with travel to the hotel and operation around the hotel. It's going to be unlike any other season that we've ever had. But we do feel like we can create that in the last 24 hours before kickoff.
All right, there is Mike Houston, and you got to create a bubble any way you can, and he's going to try to do that. And the players kind of have to, really be careful when they're away from the team there, Brian. And like you were saying, kind of know that you have a lot of years left in life to do fun things, and unfortunately, now's not a great time to go out and do some of those fun things.
Right, correct. And it's just making life choices, thinking of bigger picture stuff. And one of the curious things, Mac Brown brought up a great point this week with North Carolina. They have the 3 tests. And the Friday test, you don't normally get the results back until Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And they have a noon game on Saturday. They may not find out till 9 or 9:30 that some coaches or some players have tested positive, and they have to completely change everything they do, and contact tracing that goes along with it. It could severely alter things a couple hours before the game. So along with that, you're putting your teammates in jeopardy, your team. I mean, because if you're around any of those people in the contact tracing, they're immediately going to shut you down as well. So there's so much more to it than just you. It's so many more people involved with this thing right now as we go into this process.
And Brian, I don't know. I don't even want to bring it up, but the older I get, the more I see, human behavior and how humans act, including myself.
Right.
I mean, are we 100% confident every coach and every program is going to be on board with actually telling the truth about these things? Because I think about it, if a guy's not tested positive, but you got the contact tracing thing, right, and you find out your star player has been right beside the person that tests positive, you got a job on the line. You want to win a football game. How honest are these guys going to be, Brian? I don't know, man.
Well, So let's say, you go down the coaches and you can start with what would Bobby Petrino do? Bobby Petrino is going to play them all, even with the COVID probably, where other coaches will probably hold strong. I think the issue that they'll get into is the logistics and the lawsuits that can happen. So with all the documentation that's going to be happening, I don't think you can get away with it for the game, but I think when it comes out later and you put a kid at risk, you put other people at risk, people on the other team, and if they get it, and if, let's say, they develop some heart ailment from it, you are liable from a legal standpoint of allowing those things to happen. And so I think the legalities and the penalties of that, for anyone who thinks it through and thinks more than just about the game, I think that the fear of any sort of lawsuit or logistics that come out of that will keep them from doing it. But I guarantee it crosses their mind. I guarantee it crosses everybody's mind. But most coaches they're always thinking 8 steps ahead and will think about the negative impact that would have if caught.
Well, Brian, we have a full slate of games coming up, including that North Carolina nooner you were talking about with Syracuse. And I kind of just reminded myself of this looking at the ACC slate. I like to ask you, if you could watch one ACC game this week, which one would you pick? And man, there are a lot of big spreads in these games this weekend, but every game has intrigue because it's the first one and we want to see what these teams look like. But North Carolina, huge favorite over Syracuse. Notre Dame, 20-point favorite over Duke. Clemson, a 33, 33 over Wake Forest. I guess the closest one. And there is some intrigue because you got Jeff Collins in year 2 at Georgia Tech. And what is Mike Norvell going to look like at Florida State? They've kind of had a bit of a tumultuous offseason. So that game has the closest spread. I don't know if it's the most intriguing to you, but I don't know. What are you looking forward to seeing amongst all these games coming up on Saturday?
Yeah, boy, that's tough. If I only had to watch one, it'd probably be North Carolina and Syracuse, just because I'm curious about the Tar Heels and all their offseason issues that they had with the clusters and the COVID and all the expectations that they have. And from afar, it looks like Mac Brown has done another really good job managing these guys. They've had another good recruiting class coming in, but they just haven't had the off-season practice, and that's always been one of the knocks against Mac. Is he a good game coach? Is he a good practice coach? And normally he has great assistants. But I'm curious just what the Tar Heels are going to look like with great expectations. I am curious about Duke going to Notre Dame with no crowd at Notre Dame. How much does touchdown Jesus and all the things about playing in South Bend, does it matter when the crowd's not there, or can Duke find a way? And David Cutcliffe is always the sneaky one, coming up with great game plans. That's going to be interesting. And Clemson going on the road to Wake, it's always great when Cornell Powell comes back in. I want to see how he does personally.
Yeah, I brought that up this week, Brian. Is this it? Is this, we get to see, he's got a great highlight film at Rose. We haven't really seen a lot of highlights since then, right?
So every year you ask Dabo Sweeney, he's like, look, Cornell's looked great in camp.
Yeah.
I think he's been listed as a starter of some kind, kick returner or wide receiver or something almost every year. But then about 2 or 3 games in, something happens, and whether I've always thought personally, and this is without real direct knowledge, but reading between the lines of what Dabo says sometimes, is Cornell has never had to really step up against adversity. He was so talented in high school, and so when he got to college and was around other guys, he's been a good teammate. He just has not responded as well in practice as other guys have to step up during that competition with others and seize the opportunity. Now, he's played a lot, but the talent hasn't shown up from what we saw at Rose and matched the work ethic I think that is needed. But he's stayed there the whole time, and now he's got this one last opportunity. I guess he could play again next year with the new rules. But it's just, I'm curious to see if it finally clicks for Cornell, because we all know he has Sunday ability, right? I don't think anybody argues that his talent level could be a Sunday player. He just hasn't gotten there work ethic-wise.
Brian North joining us. North, Igo and I, we kind of came to the conclusion yesterday we should just call players returners or newcomers because, right? I mean, saying sophomore, junior, senior doesn't really matter anymore. It's crazy.
Right. It's like a third-year sophomore or something.
Yeah. Well,
a sophomore. I mean, it's so crazy right now. I don't know how scholarships are going to work in the next couple of years because you're going to have so many people who have so much extra eligibility.
Tyler Snead is going to break all kinds of records for catches because he got to play 4 games as a freshman and then 12 more as a freshman, and now he's got 2 sophomore seasons coming up. I mean, it's incredible.
Right, and God bless Tyler, but he probably is not going to be a first-round NFL draft pick. So there would be no sense of him ever leaving school early. So he's going to be a 28-year-old senior with like 110 games under his belt when he finally graduates.
Hey, those 28-year-olds look good for BYU the other night. I'll take some 28-year-olds, right? North, speaking of unknowns, Panthers-Raiders week 1 in an empty Bank of America stadium. What do you think about Teddy Bridgewater, Matt Rule? I shouldn't even have started. If I named everybody making their Panthers debut, it would take up the rest of the hour. But what are your here's my expectations. I think they're going to have a bad season, but for some reason I like them week 1 against the Raiders. I can't put my finger on why, but what do you think about the Panthers?
You know me, I'm the contrarian, so everybody thinks they're going to be bad, so I actually think they might be better than people think, right? Offensively, you just look at them offensively on paper. I mean, it looks like they can put up some points. Now, defensively, they're probably going to be horrible early on. Can they get better as the year goes on? They're going to be young and fast, but they're just going to be running around like crazy chickens out there until they finally learn what they're doing. So how quickly they can learn on the defensive side of the ball is going to be a big key to this season. But I'm the same way. Look, you're Sunday, you're at home, even though there's no crowd. The Raiders still have to travel from the West Coast. COVID traveling, is that going to be any different? Is it going to put more stress on them? West Coast teams traveling to the East anyways for 1 o'clock games is never good. So there's all these things that I agree with you. I think the Panthers have a real good chance on Sunday. And a couple of really local weird things that are happening in that game. Tabari Wallace, Snoop Wallace, former ECU player, who's now a principal at West Craven, is going to get to bang the drum before the game. The
cool.
Pounding drum.
Yeah.
But there's no crowd there.
Yeah.
So, that's just kind of really weird.
Yeah.
But he's going to get to bang the drum, so whatever that's worth. And then 2 best friends from Havelock will be part of that game. Farrell Cooper, who is now a wide receiver for the Panthers, and Kendall Vickers, who was a surprise roster addition to the Raiders as a defensive lineman. You know, they were best friends growing up. They were part of those teams in Havelock. They will be on the same NFL field on Sunday, which will be really cool.
And throw in a Zay Jones while you're there, Brian, former Pirate in that game. That would be a perfect. And North, if you don't know, joins us every week to talk sports and finds every local angle. It's amazing how you do it for whatever I bring up, Brian, but you always do. But, man, that'd be a perfect one for you to go to if it was a normal year with fans and normal media. But I guess they're having, probably local media only at that game and then the national guys at CBS?
Yeah, so what the Panthers are doing is they're only going to allow 1 news photographer on the field. It'll actually be a guy from WSOC in Charlotte, and then that person has to share all the video they shoot with all the other affiliates. Same thing with still photographers. Normally we see they're like ants on the field. There's a gazillion of them, but there's only going to be 1 still photographer allowed on the field, and they have to share with everybody else. So we will, and then no locker room access, and then all interviews are done via Zoom. So, and I don't know how those will be arranged. Normally you can go in and interview whoever you want in the locker room, so I don't know how they're going to do post-game with who they choose on that stuff. But yes, I would have been there in a heartbeat, both locker rooms, getting all those guys and getting them after the game with their handshakes in the field would have been good stuff. Now I've got to beg some guy to get Tabari Wallace before the game and try and get those guys afterwards when he's trying to do 8 million things. So good luck.
North, give me a pick for Richmond coming up. I believe, is this Saturday night? Let me see when the race is being
Usually it's a Saturday night race. Yeah.
Okay. Not named Kevin Harvick.
Probably Denny Hamlin. He's the Richmond guy. It's his turn this week. So Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, Harvick won last week, so that means Hamlin wins this week. That's how it goes in this thing. As that has been the case for 2020 in this NASCAR season. North, always enjoy talking with you. We got you laughing a little bit, and hopefully we brighten your spirits on this Friday.
Yeah, good. So I don't think I said anything fireable or over the line. So got out of here okay. I still got newscasts where I can make people angry tonight. So.
All right, tune in WCTI 12. See if he goes Ron Burgundy. This could look. There's going to be one, and you don't want to miss it when it happens, folks. When Brian North finally loses it on the air, so it could be tonight. We'll see.
And you be the one to email in first and complain about it, or put it on Facebook, because I used to be on the speed dial. It used to be when you did something wrong, people would call the station immediately and let you know about it. Now with social media, it's who can put it on social media first or email you the fastest. So I'll be looking for those correspondences.
North, love it, man. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
All right, see you, Cliffy.
There is Brian North joining us on the Fixed NC Live line on a Friday edition of Pirate Radio Live. DJ Captain Morgan Ahlers, is in the green room getting prepared for today's program. We'll talk to him coming up in hour number 3. Rick Smith going to join us in hour number 3 as well on today's program, and a lot more from Mike Houston. Glenn Griffin's going to be getting the latest Zoom during our third hour, so we'll have some comments from yesterday. We'll be posting comments on our social media sites during hour 3 of today's show. We'll open up the booty bag as well. It's all ahead on Pirate Radio Live. We'll wrap up hour 2 after this.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
In studio with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you guys have a disinfecting service for homes and businesses.
Yes, we have a 2-step process that includes disinfecting and also provides 30 days of protection to all surfaces treated. We're doing this for 10 cents a square foot in businesses and $10 a room in your home.
Mike, how can folks get in touch with you?
Call me directly at my cell, 252-999-0001. Again, 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Or fixednc.com.
UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory ever. Brand new Adidas is arriving daily, along with Under Armour, Columbia, and Russell Athletic. UBE is loaded with cargo, and new items are being added daily to PirateWear.com. Be sure to check out our children's store, The Crow's Nest, for all of your young pirates. UBE and PirateWear.com, an ECU tradition for 50 years. Go Pirates!
This is Dr. Elizabeth Robinson with Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. Our extended care clinic is open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our office on W.H. Smith Boulevard. We treat a variety of urgent orthopedic conditions without an appointment. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at www.orthoeast.com.
How much does the word reliable mean? Sure, all businesses describe themselves as reliable, and we certainly wouldn't expect any business to be unreliable, but when you take a word like reliable and make it your way of life, the entire core of your business, it tends to mean a little more. And it's something you have to show people, not tell them. At Delcor, we show it by being there the same day you call. We show it by simply doing outstanding work with exceptional products, a family-oriented work ethic, and genuine caring for all of our neighbors throughout Eastern NC, because in a time of need, we know the first and the only thing you need is someone you can count on. That's why we only use equipment you can count on too, like a train comfort system. It's hard to stop a train. Delcor can have a new train comfort system installed in no time, or we can provide an AC tune-up to make sure your system is performing well. So will your system keep you cool all summer? Find out. Call us. We're Delcor, the service professionals. Reliable for over 4 decades. Visit DelcorInc.com today.
Bostic Sugg Furniture wants to know, how'd you sleep last night? If you're like thousands, the answer is probably not very well. You're tired, stressed, your job suffers, and worse, your health suffers. Get better sleep on a Restonic mattress, a Consumer's Digest Award winner 13 years running. Restonic Queen mattresses start as low as $4.99. Restonic 2-sided Queen mattresses from only $6.99. If you're ready to wake up to a whole new you, we have a Restonic mattress waiting for you, exclusively at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
At US Cellular, we speak fair. When we say you don't have to pay activation fees, we mean it. Plus, right now when you switch, you also get $700 toward the latest phones. Yep, we mean that too. Upgrade to fair with US Cellular. Promotional pricing requires an unlimited everyday or even better plan. New line port and credit approval. Qualified smartphone purchase and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month RIC. Taxes, fees, and additional restrictions apply.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit AtlanticWireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
This is ECU assistant football coach Roy Tesh, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Hey, Pirate fans, if you're hungry for the best ECU news and information, then you need to be part of the Pirate Radio digital platforms. Keep up with the latest breaking news and information by liking us on Facebook and following us on Twitter and Instagram at PR927FM. Listen live and to all of our archive programming anytime by visiting PR927FM.com. Stay connected beyond your radio dial with all of the Pirate Radio digital platforms. And Clip, things are starting to get interesting with this Memphis story as additional details are coming out.
Goodness.
This is getting interesting. Okay, so the party bus details were included in an article from the Commercial Appeal. And that has kind of made its rounds on Twitter as far as apparently the COVID-19 cases apparently derived from a party bus after team players supposedly celebrated after their win over Arkansas State. A Memphis player has now gone on Twitter and disputed that claim, stating that they did everything that they were supposed to do and that Arkansas State is the one that gave them the virus.
Oh, no.
So
this would be even a worse scenario.
Exactly. So now there's been so it's turned into a little bit of a dramatic scene here as the blame is starting to
the old blame game.
Yeah, it's basically turning into pointing fingers. The Memphis players are saying that, well, at least one has publicly said that they did not participate in a party bus atmosphere, that they played the game, did what they were supposed to do. So if they contracted the virus after that game, then it came from Arkansas State.
I'd much rather it be a self-inflicted wound than a team contracting the coronavirus from another team, because that is going to make people not want to play opponents. Man, that I would hate for that to be the case, but. So I guess the fact does remain, Shirley, that there is a COVID outbreak amongst Memphis. At this point, that has not been disputed, I guess.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Now, I just saw a tweet, and I am looking to see who this tweet is from. This is from a lady that works at a radio station that covers Arkansas State, and she says, and this is her tweet, Arkansas State has already taken multiple COVID tests this week and got on the bus this morning for Kansas State.
Whoa, now is this a regular bus or a party bus?
Does not say party bus, so I'm going to go with regular bus.
Oh, that is a good point too, Shirley. They play tomorrow. I forgot about it. They play that in a pretty big game against Kansas State.
Right, so you would have to assume at this point that if Arkansas State did, in fact...
No, they didn't.
Right.
I'm really hoping they didn't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That they did get tested this week, and they all came back negative. So
right. I'm hoping that happened. Yes.
Right. So then you have to, put
the blame back on Memphis.
Yeah. point the finger back to the party bus.
The party bus did it, not Arkansas State. Oh boy, what are we talking about? These are the times we are in as we try to get sports.
These are the days of our lives.
That they are. Orioles update, and not a good one for you O's fans. They are down 5-0 in a crucial series with the Yankees. Right now, the Orioles are a game and a half out of the final playoff spot behind the Yankees, and right now they're losing 5-0 in the third inning. So this is a big weekend for the O's. I guess we'll have them tomorrow, I would imagine,
Yeah,
Shirley.
we will have we'll have them tonight as well.
Oh, doubleheader?
Because they have a doubleheader tonight because the last night's game got postponed due to rain.
So we'll have them tonight and Saturday, and then we'll have NFL coming up on Sunday.
Right. So 1 o'clock on Saturday for Orioles baseball, and then our NFL coverage begins at 12:30 on Sunday, and we'll go all day long. So we'll have, excuse me.
Oh my gosh, she's breaking down. You hadn't been on a party bus.
No. That just came out of nowhere. But yeah, so Orioles tonight, we'll pick up the coverage at about 7 o'clock, and then we'll have Orioles tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock.
Sounds good. We got a lot of sports coming up this weekend right here on Pirate Radio. Coming up tonight in NBA action, it is Game 5 between the Clippers and the Nuggets, and the Clippers looking to close things out. That'll be at 6:30. And later tonight, the Celtics and the Raptors playing Game 7 of that series, which man, it feels like the Celtics should have already advanced, but the Raptors have been able to win some tight games, an improbable win at the buzzer earlier this series. They win in double overtime the other night, so you got that coming up, and of course a full slate of college football games. We might run over that schedule coming up in hour number 3 once again with our next guest, who will be Morgan Ahlers and Coach Rick Smith. They'll be here inside the Pirate Radio studios. Got some Mike Houston comments to break down, get their thoughts on what's going on with the ECU football program, as still a couple weeks away from ECU and UCF coming up on the 26th of September in Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium. Hour 3 on the way of Pirate Radio Live with Rick Smith and Morgan Ahlers after this.
Your CBD store in Greenville has the highest quality CBD products in the country. Your CBD store is the first and only brand that carries USDA certified organic products such as gummies, honey sticks, and high absorption water soluble liquids, which are all made in the United States. They even offer products for your pet. The educated staff will help you answer any questions, and you can stop in anytime to get a free sample. Your CBD store, locally owned and operated, open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, right beside Duck Donuts in Greenville.
Here today with Angus, also known as Jeff Bell to his friends and family. Why F3?
Well, in terms of trying to develop yourself physically, when you depend on yourself, you can have kind of good periods and bad periods. But with F3, the social aspect of working out just really motivates you to go a lot farther than you can on your own.
One letter, one number, F3. Fitness, fellowship, and faith. All workouts are free of charge and open to all men. Leave no man behind, but leave no man where you find him. Learn more today at f3enc.com.
Love Jersey Mike subs? Love them times 12 with our new catering box. Packed full of a dozen individually wrapped subs. They're yours for the sharing. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. Tired of cooking at home? Change it up without getting up. Just order Jersey Mike's through our app for no contact delivery or no contact at the door pickup. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
If you are push mowing your yard using an inefficient lawn tractor, or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at a Hustler zero-turn lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated, welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. Come see Ron Ayers Motorsports. It will guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11, north of the airport in Greenville. Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and welcome inside the booth. A tip of the cap to the NBA. I'll have some thoughts next.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. For starters, they love a nice, cold Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's delicious, it's refreshing, and it has zero sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. Because who decided beef shouldn't have a buddy? And the drink with their feast? Yeah, they have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. No compromises there. Oh, and when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. They're the kind of person jorts were made for. 50% jeans, 50% shorts, 100% the most comfortable thing that's ever graced your wardrobe. Not compromising never looked so good. So crack open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and taste what it's like to have it all. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar done right. That's what I like.
You have to give a big tip of the cap to the NBA. They have made the bubble in Orlando work. The other pro sports leagues and college athletics have all taken note, calling the NBA for advice. The NHL with 2 bubbles has done a good job too. I was skeptical at first if the NBA could pull it off. Give credit to Commissioner Adam Silver and his staff. Silver is the best commissioner in professional sports. He has a great relationship with the players. He knows it's a players' league. He learned a lot from the late David Stern, who took the NBA to another level. So in this critical time, his leadership based on his experiences and his personal demeanor, plus the respect the players have for him, and you see why the NBA has made the bubble work. Give a lot of credit to the players, too. They've had the discipline to stay in the bubble. Everybody in the NBA gets an A+. Come on back again next time, and we'll visit inside the booth.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, where good health hits home. Visit your CBD store today on Arlington Boulevard across from the mall. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. North Carolina state parks are now open for visitors. Parks should be used for exercise, fresh air, getting out in nature, or taking a day trip. Visitors should enjoy themselves, but please remember to focus on moving through the park, keep social distancing in mind, and avoid large groups. While most facilities and activities will be open, please contact any state park with questions or visit ncparks.gov/open. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live, and a fun hour it will be. Clip Brock here, got Morgan Ahlers to my left. Hello, Morgan.
Hello, Clipster.
Good to see you, sir.
Good to be seen.
And we have the ball coach, Rick Smith, joining us as well. Coach Smith, long time no see. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Appreciate you joining us here today. We'll get your thoughts on what's going on with ECU football, the landscape of college football, and these crazy times. We got some comments from Mike Houston. We'll play those and get your thoughts on those as well. And also gonna have got an announcement, if you haven't heard, regarding the post-game show. And Rick Smith, we'll get to that as well. We got a prize to give away in this hour, too. We got a $10 gift card to Pop's Old Fashioned Burgers. You can be a winner of that later on in this hour. Morgan Ahlers, Rick Smith joining me. You can give your thoughts on Twitter, Facebook Live, or give us a call, 317-1250. Back with Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live after this.
In studio with Gloria from Kinetic Physical Therapy. What kind of wellness services do you guys offer?
We have massage therapy with your choice of either a relaxation massage, a therapeutic stretching session, or a prenatal massage. We have foot reflexology. We partner with Pirate Cryo for cryotherapy, also known as cold therapy, and we have health and wellness coaching. And if you're interested in holistic body therapy and saving money, we encourage you to check out our wellness membership plan, where you can have all of our wellness services at a constant discounted price. You can learn more today at kptonline.com.
Let's turn a trip to the branch into a tap on your phone. Let's hit pause on a lost debit card without hitting pause on life. That's how First National Bank is redefining convenience, with a top-rated mobile app that puts more security and control at your fingertips, and friendly people to help you succeed right by your side. Let's get started at fnb-online.com or your local First National Bank. FNB member FDIC.
When you can take your eye off a big pizza pie, that's familiar. How does a hot pizza and a six-pack of beer sound right about now? How about if it was only $20? Take advantage of the Familia Saturday and Sunday special of a large one-topping pizza and a six-pack of Pitt Street beer for only $20. Call 689-6330 and then pick it up at the drive-thru window. Need a job? Good news. Familia is now hiring servers, bartenders, and hostesses. Familia, Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College, and FamiliaNC.com.
Summertime is here with hot temperatures, thunderstorms, and hurricanes. It's easy to recognize pests invading your home, but a lot of people forget about moisture destroying your home's crawl space. Pest Tech is celebrating its 20th year protecting your homes using dehumidifiers, professional-grade liners, and most importantly, our licensed and highly trained technicians. Visit PestTechOfGreenville.com for a free estimate on moisture control and the other silent destroyer, termites. Trust your home to the best. Pest Tech of Greenville, your East Coast exterminating professionals.
While you're sleeping, our whole hogs are slow cooking over wood to create that bite that Eastern North Carolina is known for. I'm Sam Jones, and for more than 3 generations, my folks have been the torchbearers for what whole hog barbecue is supposed to be. At Sam Jones, you'll find plenty of smoke, but no mirrors. Everything, and I mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Come on over and see us at Sam Jones Barbecue, and I bet you'll be able to taste our passion in just one bite. Sam Jones Barbecue, Fire Tower Road.
This is Stephen Igo, publisher of HoistTheColors.net. Recruiting is the lifeblood of any college sports program, and no one devotes more coverage to the future of ECU athletics than Hoist the Colors. Want to know who's going to be the next Holton Ahlers or Jaden Gardner? We've got all the inside scoop on the Pirates' most talented recruits and top targets 24/7. Sign up now and get your first month of coverage for a single $1. HoistTheColors.net, the most reliable reporting on ECU athletics.
Know what I like most about my new phone from US Cellular?
I don't know.
That it was $700 off.
What? Switch to US Cellular and get $700 off the latest phones. US Cellular. Choose fair.
Promotional pricing requires an unlimited everyday or even better plan. New line, port in, credit approval, qualified smartphone purchase, and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month retail installment contract. Taxes, fees, and additional restrictions apply.
Does the idea of going to your local U.S. Cellular store make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Tired of the hassle of waiting and wearing a mask? Let Toby Williams and its outside sales team take away that worry. They will come right to your home or office and drop your phone off on the porch or at the front desk for you. Saving you time and worry is what the team at Cellular Warehouse is all about. Call Toby today at 252-799-7051 and let them help you with all of your wireless needs. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
P-I-R-A-D-E.
Once a child wants to spell.
P is for pirate. R is for radio.
Speak and spell.
That is correct.
R-A-D-I-O.
You are right.
I'm learning a lot, really.
Pirate.
Pirate Radio.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, where good health hits home. Visit your CBD store today on Arlington Boulevard across from the mall. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. And your CBD store is the largest CBD retailer in the country and is now offering curbside pickup and free shipping for online orders. Your CBD store has the highest quality all-natural products with no chemicals, and they work because I ought to know because I am a customer. As a matter of fact, I take the nighttime blend, and it's blueberry flavored, and it's one of my favorite things to take at night. It helps me stay asleep. It makes you kind of sleepy, and then, you know.
I'm tired. Hi, Shirley.
Are you going to let me finish reading this live ad or not?
Can I finish?
Okay. Sure, go ahead.
Anyway, just give them a try. Check them out online at CBDRX4u.com. You can also check them out on Arlington Boulevard next to Duck Donuts. Clip, take it away.
All right, Morgan, take it away.
Okay, fine, boss.
I mean, just mess me up and everything.
Morgan Ahlers is here. Coach Rick Smith is here as well. Great to have you guys inside the Pirate Radio studios. And Coach Smith thought about you a couple times this week. One, when we found out that Navy wasn't hitting a practice and they got blown out by BYU. We'll talk about that in a moment. Also, because I had a Zoom interview that'll be coming out soon with former ECU cornerback Travis Simmons, and I asked him about you and what he remembers, and he had a couple of good lines. He said, you were always the shortest guy in the room, but had everybody's attention at all times. He also said he credits you for him playing D1 college football. I think he said he only played 1 year of high school football down in Florida. You've told a story about going to see a kid, and if he wasn't a certain height, you were going to leave. I don't know if that was Travis or not, but what do you remember about Travis and his recruitment, only playing 1 year, and you were able to get him to ECU?
Well, Coach Jacobs, the head coach, he went to FAMU High School, which is the university school in Tallahassee. And I went by there every spring because Coach Jacobs was a good friend of mine. Whether he had a player or not, I'd always go by. And he said, you might want to check this kid out. He's a great basketball player. He's only played 1 year of football. And so I said, well, I went by and I watched the kid, and they were working him at wide receiver. He's a little bit taller than I was, and I really liked him. So I went to the basketball game that night and met his mother. She came up, which was illegal at the time, but I mean, she did it, I didn't. She came up and sat down with me and started talking. So we talked for about 30 minutes, and I said, we're just supposed to kind of be acquaintances, you know, just like, hey. But anyway, I got to recruiting the kid, and some other schools got on him. When I offered him, you know, then like Cincinnati came in on him, some other schools, but he stuck with us. And, you know, he started as a freshman. We had a couple of kids injured early in the year, and he started for us, and it's early in the year. He picked one off and went 78 yards for a touchdown. And I said, I sure am glad I offered that boy.
He will be remembered for his championship performances. Had a pick six against Tulsa, and then the year later had the tip to Van Eskridge for the winner against Houston. So that's coming out soon. You can check that out on our social media accounts. And by the way, I didn't recognize him. He was a little skinny kid. He looks like a linebacker now, Coach. He's been in the weight room, so he's buffed up a little bit.
He was 159 pounds the first day I watched him practice football. He came in at 162, and the first year he had to play as a freshman because we had some injuries, and he only weighed about 165 that year. I think his senior year he's about 175, maybe 180.
And, man, a lot of pros from that defense, and one still playing, Linville Joseph, the old man now, I guess, now with the Los Angeles Chargers, still getting it done.
I can tell you a story about Linville now, but it'd take a while, so we might want to say
got a little time. It's up to you.
Well, I was sitting in my office. I'd been by he was from Santa Fe High School, and Coach Pritchard was a good friend of mine. When I was a high school coach, Coach Pritchard was a high school coach, so we coached against each other. In high school, we were good friends. I'd recruited at school for 15, 20 years. And he called me and said, hey, I got a great one down here at Santa Fe. Everybody in the country's flying in to see him. But now he only has he had a real low test score. And I said, well, I've already seen Linville. If you remember, I watched your practice in the spring. And I said, I don't care about his test score. I've offered him. I've talked with his mom. He said, we need to get down here. So I got down there the next day because it was in December. Recruited the kid, got him up for a visit. And I got down there the first week of January when school started, and I grabbed his hand, and I said, I've already talked to every one of your teachers. I carried him to every one of his teachers in that school. They all agreed to tutor him 1 hour a week. And we had it arranged, and then he wound up, one of the teachers understood the SAT, and she tutored him for that, and he popped it, passed it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And his head coach called me and said, you need to get here because you passed the test, and LSU's flying
now everybody's
in Florida.
coming.
And he said he ain't talking to any of them. But he told me to tell you to get here because he's going to commit to you.
Man, that's awesome. and what a pirate he was and what a pro he's been all these years. Got Rick Smith here, Morgan Ahlers here. Kenny wants Morgan Ahlers and Coach Rick Smith to break down the stud under center for East Carolina this year. Morgan, what do you know about the ECU quarterback?
The stud center or the stud under center?
Under. Or actually behind. We'll probably be in shotgun, right?
Probably, yeah. That's what threw me a little bit. He likes to eat. He eats healthy. Wearing a mask.
All right.
Good kid, good grades.
All right, there you go. You don't have to worry about his grades. That's a good thing.
I'll let you handle the football part. I'm just
the first time I saw your son, y'all came to practice. I think he was going into his junior year. I thought he was like a defensive end.
You got excited.
Because he was so big, And said, no, he's quarterback over at Conley. I said, dang.
And Holden did play a little, safety, Morgan, for Conley? And
when they needed something, they knew they were going to throw it late. Yeah. Like I think he had one interception his junior year maybe at CBA Cock. And actually ran it back, and they threw a flag for an illegal block, which was watching it on film. This is a funny thing. The referee threw the flag. One of their guys just goes flying forward. I mean, like diving, but he gets hit in the back. There's no Conley player near him. The only guy that hit him in the back was one of his guys. And his buddy told him, said, yeah, he was just trying to push him, so he gave him a little closer and trying to make the tackle.
Give him a little shove. Yeah. Coach, what are those discussions like when you have an elite player that you want on your side of the ball and the offense wants on that side of the ball? Have you ever been able to use your words to maybe get a guy to come play on your side?
The coaches usually, like when you recruit a young man, you kind of know where he's going to wind up.
Right.
It's a year of recruitment. You kind of know where he's going to wind up. Now, we as coaches, we kid each other, and kind of, I'm going to get him. I've talked to Coach, and there was a bunch of them like that, through the years. I would tell when we were, I'd tell the offensive coordinator, I said, I've talked to Skip now. He said, I'm going to get that guy.
Well, one of the great Pirate players, he played in the pros, Vontae Leach.
Yeah.
He started, I think, linebacker.
And, was making plays.
And then they moved him before they moved into fullback. I think they moved Logan, put him there late, I think his last year, but I think they put him into sort of a tight end role.
It's my motorcycle.
I was wondering what that was.
I'll give you a ride. I'll give you a ride after the show. I talked to Willie Smith recently, and Willie came in as a defensive player.
Defensive end.
Moved to... I asked him, how that switch went. He said that the coaching staff tricked him. He said, Willie, we're going to make you a tight end. And Willie said he kept lining up on the end of the line of scrimmage and said, wait a minute, I'm blocking every play. I ain't going out for a pass. So they tricked him into being a tackle. It was a good trick because he ended up playing in the NFL as a tackle. We've had a lot of stories like that, Morgan, at ECU with, I think, C.J. Wilson, who was an awesome defensive end. Brian Bailey always talks about his days as a running back in high school in Eastern North Carolina. We've had a lot of guys that kind of find their spot when they get to ECU.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity. Players want to play. And if sometimes, depending on where you're at, if there's only one or two guys on the field at the same time that play in your position, and that they might have that extra tool that you don't have, but you can do something else, you want to get on the field and play.
Yeah. And I'm sure you've had a lot of discussions with guys like that, maybe not working out in one spot, but finding their niche at another spot. Josh asked, where is Coach's notebook? Coach has the folders ready to go today.
Coach has the notebook. I came in with the pen and Clip gave me the paper.
Yes, so everybody's prepared for today's program. Let's talk a little Pirate football. Yesterday and again today, I guess they've wrapped up, Morgan, or just about to wrap up a scrimmage.
I believe they did. The rain came through, and I think the thunder, but they started early. Don't know how it went. I know they're doing a lot of evaluating on the depth chart wise today. So, I think today's a big day, and I think Coach Houston's going to be doing a Zoom. I think about 5:30. I think that's right.
Yep, and Glenn Griffin will be all over that quote tweeting. So while you watch us and listen to us, check out our social media sites. We'll have all those quotes coming up from Coach Houston. He talked to the media yesterday via Zoom, and Shirley, let's hit cut one again. Coach Houston's opening comments yesterday.
Had a really upbeat, spirited, helmeted practice today. Been very pleased with how well this team has practiced in our helmets situation. A lot of young teams sometimes, get in a helmeted practice and they think it's a walkthrough, and they don't practice as fast or as focused as they should. But we've had a couple of helmeted practices here recently that I've been very, very pleased with the effort and focus and concentration. And that's something that's so good. It allows you during the season to have those Thursday practices where you can, not beat on their bodies that close to kickoff, but still get a lot of work done. So good day today. A couple of solid days since we last saw each other. We're looking forward to tomorrow. I know that all the kids they're ready to go tomorrow. They're talking plenty to each other, so it should be a lot of fun out there.
All right, that's Mike Houston yesterday referring to today's scrimmage, which just took place. And Coach Smith, as you know, a lot of starting and stopping, unfortunately, for the football team and Coach Houston and the players this offseason. They have been able to get in 3 scrimmages now, which that's a pretty big number for a fall camp. Don't you usually try to do 2, I guess?
You try to do 2, but usually, to be honest with you, you have 1. You go 2 weeks and have 1 that's, full go, and your starters probably get usually 35 to 45 snaps. And then the second one, you may let the ones get 15, maybe 20 reps, and then the rest of it's the 3s and, a few of the 2s. But really, 1 scrimmage for the 1s. Your 1s may wind up getting 60 to 70 full-speed reps, in a scrimmage before the first game.
Is that the best way to kind of evaluate your team before they play an opponent? I was talking to Bryce Williams yesterday, former tight end, who I asked him how much he got hit at practice, and he said there was the thud tackling. There wasn't a lot of going to the ground. Is the scrimmage really the best way to kind of see what you'll have on game day?
Yeah. I don't, I've did it every way you can do it.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
You got to do it live.
Yeah.
I heard, somebody smart said that once.
You have to do it.
Brilliant mind said that one.
Now, if you don't do it live, if you don't do it live and the team you're playing does it live, you're going to get your butt beat.
as we saw Monday night. And Shirley saw a tweet, told me earlier today that Ken Niumatalolo at Navy, who we consider him one of the best coaches in America, right?
Yes.
Was not hitting live at practice. He said this week that'll change. They will be hitting, no more touchy stuff. And it's kind of weird. They went into game one against those grown men from BYU without doing it, but obviously we saw what happens when they didn't.
Yeah, I was shocked when he said that on national TV. They looked like they hadn't hit. I mean, they were awful. It's the worst Navy team I've ever seen.
Yeah, and you were on the staff that on at least one, maybe two staffs
that beat
Navy and actually held them to a good number, of points, a low number of points. But they did look unlike any Navy team I remember seeing, Morgan.
Really did, but BYU, give them credit.
Yeah.
They were lining up and they were just running.
They were
over
running them.
They were, and not necessarily from a tackling standpoint, the Navy, but the Navy's defensive line was getting manhandled. And you don't see that very often because there's always hear the cut blocks and this kind of thing in your defensive career. That had to drive you crazy. These offensive linemen coming in and chop blocking and doing a lot of cuts, that kind of thing. And BYU the other day was just taking it to them offensively.
I thought that it would be a high scoring game.
Back and forth.
I didn't think,
and it was.
For one team.
But I mean, I really didn't think that Navy would get basically shut out.
But offensively, with Perry last year, he ran that offense and he created such a dynamic presence back there. Not only you run against the wishbone a lot of times, the quarterback's good. He can run a little bit, but Malcolm Perry was the kind of guy that he could flat out just take it to the house on every play. So you had to account with him with one or two guys, and then running back, fullbacks, and.
I'm glad Perry's gone. I'm glad Keenan Reynolds is long gone. They were pirate killers in their time.
I can assure you they will be much better football team when they play us.
Yeah, and unfortunately you're right on that, Coach. Coach, in your opinion, without the NFL preseason and with all of the off-season kind of being disjointed for college, you always hear, is the defense going to be ahead of the offense? Is it just a matter of personnel? And who's got the advantage, you think, going into first games for these teams without having the appropriate amount of work?
Well, forever they always said early in the season the defense should be ahead of the offense. And I still kind of believe that, especially if you're trying to get the timing down of your quarterbacks and your wide receivers running the proper routes and the deep ball and just the timing of the offense and the passing game. I don't think the running game's that difficult. I mean, they got to block somebody and you got to hand the ball off. That's not real tricky. But now the throwing game, I think, the defense should be ahead of the passing game.
Right.
Early.
Shirley, let's take cut for an update on the offensive line because ECU has some talented running backs. Will they have some room to run this year? Can they keep Holton Ahlers upright? A couple of big questions there. Mike Houston gave an update on the offensive line.
The good and the bad. We've had some guys miss some time with the virus throughout preseason camp. That's not good. But what it has forced us to do is play a lot of guys in a lot of different positions. And so virtually everybody on the offensive line has played multiple positions for extended periods of time. So we have been able to create some depth that way. As far as what our starting five is, I couldn't say that right now. Obviously Deontay is, I think, one of the better tackles in the league. So I think he's, no doubt he's going to be starting somewhere. Probably at left tackle. Nashad Strother, another guy that I think has had just a really solid camp. Going to be somewhere. We just got to figure out where the other pieces are. I think Fernando has, really had a solid camp at center. But then the guys like Justin Chase, Bailey Malovic, Sean Bailey, Noah, all those guys where they factor in, Trent Holler. There's just lots of flexibility with where they can play. And so what you do is you just figure out what your best five is, and you have guys to back them up that can play multiple different spots.
So it sounds like there's still some shuffling there in the offensive line, and he has a few guys that he's going to be able to count on. Deontay Smith has played a lot of football in the purple jersey, and he'll be back at tackle. Strother has been mentioned a lot by Coach Houston and Morgan. We've talked about Fernando Fry, who has just been solid at the center position. Again, a position that has been snake bit for ECU, but Fry has been there. Coach Smith, what's your thoughts when you look at the offensive line heading into 2020 for the Pirates?
I haven't talked to anybody. I felt like that they had a chance to be much better than they were last year, even though, the starters I had, Noah Henderson, he's a redshirt sophomore,
and got some experience.
He's been there. He's been on campus 3 years.
Yeah.
Bailey is a redshirt senior. He's been there 5 years. He's 6'6", 339. Fernando Fry, I had him down as probably a starter. Again, he's 6'3", 290, but he's a redshirt senior transfer. I can't remember where he transferred from. And then I had Smith down as the left tackle, as a redshirt senior. He's been there 5 years. But I think they have a chance to be really good on the offensive line. I'm not sure about the depth. But, it's tough to come in. And they've only been here 2 years.
The staff's
been here 2 years. And I've always felt like, as a recruiter for 50 years, the toughest daggone thing to find now is offensive linemen. There ain't enough of them to go around for the whole country.
It's pretty easy when you're one of those Big Ten schools or in the SEC. Outside of that, it's a little tougher, right?
Defensive guys, if you may have to change the philosophy a little bit on your defense if you can't get those big guys and you go with smaller guys that can run. But offensive line, to me, that was always the toughest thing, because when you see one that's really good, everybody else has seen him.
Yeah, right. And as Coach Smith said, Morgan, you got some experience there. You've also got some transfers that Mike Houston's trying to kind of plug in and play right away.
You got a couple guys on the offensive line with Justin Chase, who comes in from North Carolina State. He's a fifth year senior. Sort of got lost in the shuffle when Dwayne Ledford left state and went to Louisville. And then you've got Avery Jones, who was a five-star recruit coming out of Havelock, coming in from North Carolina. He's got 3 years left, and from what I gather, he's one of the strongest guys in the Tar Heel program when he was there, and now he's here. So these guys are not just junior college players coming in, but they've had experience at the 4 years of school level. Go ahead.
Old story. Okay, I'm 26-year-old coach at Georgia Tech, and our defensive coordinator was like 45, Rick Lance, and they were talking about these guys wanting to transfer from other schools, to Georgia Tech. And I remember Rick said, you can take as many of them as you want to on offense. We ain't taking any of them on defense. and I kind of looked at him kind of funny, and he said, and the reason why, and that's always stuck in the back of my mind, he made this comment. He said, they are transferring their problems from that school to our campus, and I don't want them. Now, I will admit that there have been some transfers in my career that worked out really well, and there's been some that I think about Rick Lance.
They were 5 or 6 in 1 year that didn't work out so well for Scotty Montgomery.
Yeah, so
but
I've never been big on transfers.
I understand. I think that,
and if you're bringing them in, you have issues already that you're trying to hide, disguise, and plug. So it's and these days, Morgan, you see it every day. There's a freaking portal. There wasn't a portal back when Rick Smith was that age, but it's happening more and more.
Well, I think now that the NCAA has made it so easy for players to move from school to school, the transfer portal, your name goes in, it's like gets broadcast with social media. Everybody knows you're in it.
Yeah.
Well, the kid from Alabama that transferred here, he was injured at Alabama. He's injured here.
Yeah, and Coach Houston was asked about him the other day, and he said he can't. We hope he can get on the field. That's not a positive sign for Nigel Knott, unfortunately.
Well, I guess it also, if you do your background checks in some of these players, sometimes you know what you're getting, and sometimes you hope you can maybe turn somebody around that might have had some issues. And again, from what I've been sort of told, I know that I think we got 6 transfers this year. I think it was 6. And I think if you leveled it out, you're probably going to bat about 80%.
And look, and people transfer for different reasons, playing time, coaches leave, all that stuff. But I think, was it last year that 3 of the quarterbacks in the college football playoff were transfers.
Yeah.
Everyone
Joe
but
Burrows
Trevor
was a
Lawrence.
transfer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of what it is now. Lincoln Riley's actually going with a recruited quarterback this year, Spencer Rattler, for the first time in a while, a non-transfer.
Yeah, he's I think a redshirt freshman.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
he was featured on the QB1 documentary on Netflix as a high school kid.
Holton was actually interviewed for that.
Really?
Yeah, the second season sure was.
Man, that'd have been cool.
I blew it for him. I wanted too much money.
Hey, I understand. No, hey, let's.
But it was. We did it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and they've had Justin Fields on that.
Sam Hartman, that's at Wake Forest, was on there.
Yep. All right.
Jake Fromm was on there.
That's right.
First year.
Georgia now in the pros.
Yeah.
Let's take a time out. We'll come back more with Morgan Ahlers, more with Coach Rick Smith. Shirley, as we go to break, let's go ahead and make somebody a winner on this Friday. Morgan, you ready?
Booty, 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 booty everywhere. Booty, 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 going everywhere. Booty, 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 Shirley in the air.
Yeah, boy.
Rick Smith, a big Bubba Sparks guy, I'm sure. All right.
He's a big Bubba guy. I don't know Bubba Sparks.
317-1250. You will be, if you are caller 12, today's winner of a $10 gift card to Pop's Old Fashioned Burgers. And man, they got a lot of great food on that menu. 317-1250. Caller 12 is a winner. We'll be back with more after this.
In studio with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you guys have a disinfecting service for homes and businesses.
Yes, we have a two-step process that includes disinfecting and also provides 30 days of protection to all surfaces treated. We're doing this for 10 cents a square foot in businesses and $10 a room in your home.
Mike, how can folks get in touch with you?
Call me directly at my cell, 252-999-0001. Again, 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Or fixednc.com.
Buying a vehicle should be a fun experience and not one where you're bounced around from person to person. This is Mary from the Auto Store Group, and we offer an honest, no-pressure, hometown store approach to selling vehicles. The Auto Store Group has 3 locations and over 150 quality used vehicles to choose from. Shop our entire inventory at theautostoregroup.com. And remember, every purchase comes with a free bucket of fun. The Auto Store Group, Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Start shopping today for your next vehicle at theautostoregroup.com.
Introducing new Domino's Carside Delivery. Now when you carry out, you don't even need to leave your car. So you don't have to interrupt your favorite song.
It's time to drive down to the rock show.
Or interrupt your kid's favorite song.
You can interrupt this, actually.
Try Domino's Carside Delivery when you carry out 3 topping pizzas for $7.99 each, and we'll carry out your order to your car contact-free. Carry out only. Must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary. Excludes XL and specialty pizzas. Crust availability varies by size. Message and data rates may apply when using Domino's Carside Delivery.
Do you think you might have been exposed to COVID-19? Maybe you're planning to visit parents, family, or friends. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville offers easy solutions to COVID-19 testing. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers.
Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
There have been many changes in the automotive world. At Phelps Chevrolet, the Phelps boys are here to take care of you. Mike, Daryl, and 4 of Mr. Phelps' grandsons, Wade, West, Allen, and Clay. You see, things at Phelps remain the same. The Phelps team has served Eastern North Carolina for over 50 years. We make your visit easy and fun. We are your neighbors, and that's what neighbors do. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Like Mr. Phelps' great-granddaughter says, come in and get you one.
Over 32 years ago, the Ronald McDonald House of Eastern North Carolina opened its doors as a place to help families stay together and close to the care they need when they have a sick child. With the addition of a second Ronald McDonald House inside the Maynard Children's Hospital, our need to serve is greater than ever as the medical community flourishes. Help us expand our mission of keeping families close as we grow to meet that need. You can show your support by making a donation to the Ronald McDonald House. Visit our website today at rmhenc.org for more information. Thank you for your support.
Hi, this is Phil Steele of Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, where good health hits home. Visit your CBD store today on Arlington Boulevard across from the mall. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. Taking a look at your stock market report for today, the Dow was up 131 points and closed out the week at 27,665. The NASDAQ was down 66 at 10,853, and the S&P was up a point at 3,340. That's your Wells Fargo Advisors financial report. For a personal look into investing, call Wells Fargo Advisors today at 756-6900 in Greenville. Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC, and congratulations to Michael Hughes of Winterville, who was our winner today, grabbing a lunch from Pops. Coming up out of the booty bag.
Boogie bag?
Boogie bag. Good
boogie,
Lord.
boogie, rocket everywhere.
Man, it's like I ate a jar of peanut butter today.
You had a great week, Shirley, but it's hour 3 on Friday, so I'll give you a pass.
Thanks, Preach.
Yeah. All right, Shirley, Glenn, Griffin doing a great job producing today's program. Got Morgan Ahlers, Rick Smith joining us in the house, and I got college football this weekend coming up. The ACC beginning. Florida State, Georgia Tech. It's kind of a Rick Smith Bowl, I guess, going on Saturday.
Yeah.
Coach, and we can talk about the no fans in the stands and how pretty much dumb it is to not allow parents to watch the games in the stands at Dowdy-Ficklen or other.
I'm going to say my piece. Right?
Okay, go ahead, and then I have a question for Coach.
Well, my thing is, right now, you in North Carolina, you can have a gathering of 50 people in not being violation of the law. Okay, if you break up 50 people and you socially distance them at 6 feet apart. Okay, I did the math. You're about 1,400 square feet. Big enough, like a moderate size house.
I can assure you, going to a football game is much safer than going to a Winn-Dixie or Food Line.
Last night they came out with the sororities having some issues with clusters of COVID breakouts. Went to a restaurant the other night here in downtown Greenville. We left. We were sitting in a place we weren't around anybody, which is fine. We left. I bet there were 6 or 7 groups of girls and guys of 10 to 15 each, waiting around everywhere to go in. None of them had masks on. Mm-hmm. So they can do that, but you can't go to a football game and spread out within 50,000 seats.
Not a lot of common sense. I don't understand it at all, to be honest with you. But
well, I think the parents should be able to go.
Yeah, clearly.
At the most, 300 people?
Parents and families, you'd have maybe 350 to 400 people tops.
Yeah.
50,000 seats. Yeah. Spread out. It doesn't make any sense at all. Coach, from a coaching standpoint, you control what you can control, and you've played in some, I'm sure, crazy environments. You've played in some dead atmospheres as well. How about, is that an impact? Do you have to tell the guys that, hey, you're going to have to motivate yourselves? There's not going to be any noise. How different is that going into a game when there's going to be no fans there?
It's a lot different. When I was here, we were filling up the stands. And I remember the first time we went to SMU.
I think I remember that game, watching the game. There was like 1,200 people in the stands.
Yeah, I could actually, we were joking around. I told Greg Hudson, I said, Greg, we don't need the earphone. I can just call the defense down to you.
That's bad.
It was that bad.
And UAB, I remember, giant stadium, not a lot of fans.
UAB was probably the worst.
Yeah, and that was before they cut the stadium down by like 25,000.
The first year UAB played there, the stand, it held 85,000, and there was probably. I never will forget, we're warming up, and I made the comment, like, when we were warming up, we got more people than they do. And Greg made some smart comment, well, they're a late arriving crowd. I said, well, but, that was.
And do you see your guys are kind of have the malaise, and you got to kind of fire them up extra? Or
you have to a little bit.
Yeah.
You may have to raise your voice, just tell them it doesn't matter about those people in the stands.
Well, you look at Holt made the comment to me. He said, "Dad, I played in front of 50,000 people. I played in front of 200 or 300." But those guys, they get after it in practice, and they're going to realize that they're facing UCF whatever time the game is, and UCF has pretty much owned them the last few years. And if they're going to be competitive, they've got to come out and motivating is one thing. The coaches can say one thing, but these players have got to. They've been working since end of July. For 2.5 months, ready for this moment.
Yeah, they beat us the last 4 years.
And I've noticed watching the basketball playoffs, the hockey playoffs, Major League Baseball, those players, they're playing hard. Yeah. They're motivated to go win, and probably, Coach, you got to raise your voice at the beginning, but once you probably hit for the first time, you're locked in, right?
Yeah,
as a player.
As a player.
So, I don't know. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow at Kenan Stadium, Morgan, at, Truist Field. Wake Forest is having college game day with no fans tomorrow, which is a first time.
That's going to be kind of interesting.
Yeah. See what that looks like.
When are they going to allow pictures of fans behind them?
I think they are doing something like that, send in your sign and all that stuff. So, I don't know.
What's the flag that's there every week?
Washington State,
Washington State, the Cougars, I think. Yeah.
Clemson, Wake Forest coming up on Saturday night, 7:30. Duke is at Notre Dame tomorrow at 2:30. I am interested, Coach, in that Georgia Tech Florida State game because you got year 2 of Jeff Collins there at Georgia Tech, who had to tell all of his offensive players, forget everything you know about the option. We're not doing that anymore. And then you got Florida State with Norvell coming over from Memphis, and they've had a bit of a tumultuous offseason. So kind of interested to see what those two teams look like tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. I'm a Florida State graduate, and I'm hoping they win. And I like Coach Norvell. I don't know the other coach, but Coach Norvell has always been a real respectful person.
He kept it rolling in Memphis, I'll tell you that, with his offense. So.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, and maybe you can sort of talk about this. When you got a new coach coming in like they brought into Georgia Tech, and Paul Johnson has stepped down. He's made his career out of running that option wishbone nightmare that he faces. How, as a coach and a coaching staff, do you tell guys that have been recruited specifically for that kind of offense that we're not going to do this anymore? This is not what you're built for, but we still want you to be part of the program and be part of the change that we're going through. How does that work?
Well, usually, they'll look at film, and then they have spring practice, and if those guys say a guy's good enough to be a fullback, he's probably good enough to play somewhere else. So, you kind of sit him down and say, hey. And
probably most of the guys didn't run that offense in high school.
Right.
So they're okay.
You might, a fullback, may wind up being like a defensive end or something, or he can transfer.
And they somehow had, and I think Calvin Johnson may have been before Paul Johnson, but
he was.
Demarius Thomas, who played a long time in the NFL, was on an option offense, didn't see the ball a lot in college. So they have a ton of athletes, guys that can play. And man, how long does it take to kind of recruit out of that, though, Coach? When your entire roster is basically option guys, can you put them where they can be the best right then? But how long does it take you to kind of get your guys in?
Well, Paul Johnson did a great job at Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Where they're going to be hurting is now Paul didn't have big offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm. It's a different type of no lineman.
Because they were cut blocking, scramble blocking because of the wishbone. And, you look at his roster, it was 6'3", 280, and most of them are 6'5".
The Navy 6'6". Type offensive line.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, that 6'2", 280-pound guys is backing up, pass protecting and getting ran slap over.
Yeah.
And I will say this is very similar to last year at East Carolina. Coach Houston came in, and his background is running those kind of things, and they had a little bit different abilities at James Madison, a little bit higher level of talent. And I think when Coach Houston came in and trying to run block with guys who aren't basically brought in to run block. I mean, they were bigger guys, but when you're running a passing offense, it's more of a 1-2 getting away kind of thing versus a 1-2-3-4 push you down the field. And I thought that was a big thing last year with the Pirates, is our line wasn't capable of doing a lot of run blocking.
Well, they just weren't used to contact, and they weren't used to the
physicalness of it.
The physicalness of it. We're going to run the football. We're going to stop the run, and just the practices were so much more physical.
I remember it being talked about from the skip to rough transition, bringing in different O-linemen, because Ruff and Lincoln Riley and that offense wanted to throw it so much. And, back in skip, it was a bit more conservative. And linemen.
A bit more conservative?
Well, using my words there.
Defense won championships in that one. No offense to Coach.
That is true. But they were bringing in a different type of O-lineman to run a different type of offense. So, I don't know. Well, hopefully we got a good one this year. That's all I know.
Yeah. Well, Skip's philosophy was we're going to control the ball on offense and keep the defense off the field if we can. And when they go out there, they'll win the game.
And won a lot of games that way, won a couple of championships that way. Shirley, let's hit Coach 7. This is or Cut 7, I should say. This will be a good one for Coach, where Mike Houston was asked about, are there contingency plans in place if a coach is forced to miss a football game this season? What would happen then? And Mike Houston talked about that.
Yeah, we did that this summer. Just kind of talked through some scenarios of, being prepared for position coaches, coordinators, Big John and myself. And I don't know if I could figure out some way to do what Coach Freeze up at Liberty and coach remotely or something, but it's what we got to do. And the thing we talked about at the end of practice today is you're getting to where you're just over 2 weeks from kickoff. It is so imperative that we protect each other, and it's all of us. We all have to be so careful away from each other, so that when we're together, we're not putting anybody at risk. But we have contingency plans for just about anything you can think of.
There is Mike Houston and Coach Smith. Mike Houston has talked about teaching his offensive linemen all the positions on the offensive line, just in case something goes wrong. You might have to slide in. Well, now they're talking about doing that with coaches as well. If unfortunately Donnie Kirkpatrick can't make a game, who's going to call plays? They're having to do that. Same with Coach Harrell on the defensive side. You're going to have to adjust and maybe learn 2 jobs instead of 1.
Yeah, like I was the D coordinator here. If I'd have gone down, any of the coaches could have called the plays. And when Greg Hudson was here,
you could have.
If Greg, so.
You don't think it's a big issue?
I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah,
I don't.
All right. How about backup PA announcer? I know I might can fill in for you, Morgan.
You're my guy.
All right, great.
Understand the mic's broken. I'm just going to stick my head out the window. First down, Pirates. Everybody's going to hear me.
We were talking about that yesterday with Troy. Are you still going to do? We'll be able to hear you on TV.
Yes.
Are you going to do the pause between first down and Pirates? Maybe the team will say Pirates. I don't know.
You never know what you might hear.
Okay. I'll be tuned in.
Tune in
intently.
That's a cliffhanger.
Let's hear about some running backs. Shirley Rhodes, Cut 6. As we heard about the O-line earlier. What's the update look like on the running back room?
The competition is just it's outstanding right now. You have multiple guys that are performing at a high level, and they're bringing out the best in each other. Darius Penix is practicing as well as he ever has, but he has to, because there's so much competition in that room. It's like one of them will have a huge play or a huge day, and then you blink, and then 2 plays later, another one, has a huge play, or the next day, another one has a huge day. And so there's just such competition in that room. It's really bringing out the best in everyone. And I think you're seeing that, like I said, at the offensive line. I think you're seeing that you will see that more and more, I think, at the quarterback position as we go on throughout the season, and especially as we go on throughout the years. But you definitely see it in the running back room.
Coach, one of the staples of the Skip Holtz teams we were talking about, just a full running back room. And I remember one game it would be Brandon Simmons having the big game, and the next one it'd be Norman Whitley and then it would be Dominique Lindsay, and then Giovanni Ruff. It seemed like it was a different guy almost each week, and you want that main lead back, but it sounds like there has been a lot of competition in that room, and it's not. Well, he's waiting for somebody to step up. It sounds like maybe everybody's stepping up, and we might have a nice backfield this year.
Well, it sounds like it. I mean, I've heard, just 6 guys.
Yeah.
And
there's only one ball, so.
Yeah. So the only one I kind of remember is Penix, and he's a big old kid, and he was from my recruiting area, which was the Greensboro area. So I know him as a person and as a player, know his family and his coaches. High school coaches. So I'm kind of pulling for him.
Morgan, what do you think about the backfield? Again, you got a newcomer coming in who could be an impact. You've got a freshman from last year, Mooney, who had to step up when Penix went out, and of course you got old reliable Darius Penix there.
Last year, they weren't deep, and you had to bring in the freshman Mooney to play, and I think at times he was a little bit overwhelmed. I think he's got the raw talent to be pretty good. The running back this year, and Chase Hayden, I believe is his name. And, watching the film on him when he was in high school and when his time at Arkansas, he's got some, I'm going to say Barry Sanders-like moves, because he'll go one way and all of a sudden he shifts and goes the other way in some of these great runs that he had early on before he got hurt. And you wonder how he doesn't lose any speed when he does that. He's very, very shifty. Raji Harris, haven't had a chance to see him play because he was here early, but they obviously didn't have spring ball.
True freshman.
Yeah. He's, I think, 5'9", 5'10", but his lower body, he's built like one of these running backs that you see in the NFL. I mean, he's got the big lower body, the big thighs, and can really move. And he's apparently got a very explosive first step, which is something we haven't had in a few years.
Yeah. Coach, we were looking up on TV a minute ago. You saw a pretty famous running back, Emmitt Smith. You said you recruited him, tried to get him to Georgia Tech, but he ended up being a Gator, right?
Wound up being a Gator. Great young man, and he's was a great athlete too in the pros, and great character person, and still is. He's never been in trouble for anything.
Great dancer too. Dancing
he was on
right.
Dancing with the Stars.
I remember that.
Does it get? I mean, he is one of the best all-time running backs, hands down. Are there any other names like that you recruited coming out of college that you can recall that made such an impact on the game of football?
That I probably didn't get.
It can't get much bigger than Emmitt Smith.
He was probably as good as and then of course Linville.
Yeah, they're still getting it done. The Chargers will be on the field this weekend taking on the Bengals, I believe. Let's take our final time out. Shirley, we'll come back, get ready to wrap up today's edition of Pirate Radio Live with Morgan Ahlers and Rick Smith. Back with you after this.
Your CBD store in Greenville has the highest quality CBD products in the country. Your CBD store is the first and only brand that carries USDA certified organic products such as gummies, honey sticks, and high absorption water soluble liquids, which are all made in the United States. They even offer products for your pet. The educated staff will help you answer any questions, and you can stop in anytime to get a free sample. Your CBD store, locally owned and operated, open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, right beside Duck Donuts in Greenville.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, get an all-new 2020 GMC Sierra and save over $10,000 off. As always, Brown & Wood is the home of the lifetime warranty.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
Are you trying to reduce clutter? Want to save a tree? Greenville Utilities can help. E-bill is a simple solution. Imagine getting an email letting you know your bill is ready. And with a few clicks on your computer or smartphone, you can review and pay your bill. It's just that easy. Signing up is simple. All you need to do is to log on to your account at guc.com and update your contact information and e-bill setting. You can even continue to receive a paper bill if you'd like. E-bill from Greenville Utilities. Just one of the ways GUC is here for you.
Here today with Gazelle, also known as Brad Bagley to his friends and family. Why F3?
Well, I've been doing F3 for 5 years now, and it's just become part of my routine. I started out thinking that I was in shape, didn't realize how out of shape I was until I came out here, and now these guys are just good friends, and I can't imagine life without them now.
One letter, one number, F3. Fitness, fellowship, and faith. All workouts are free of charge and open to all men. Leave no man behind, but leave no man where you find him. Learn more today at F3enc.com.
How much does the word reliable mean? Sure, all businesses describe themselves as reliable, and we certainly wouldn't expect any business to be unreliable, but when you take a word like reliable and make it your way of life, the entire core of your business, it tends to mean a little more. And it's something you have to show people, not tell them. At Delcor, we show it by being there the same day you call. We show it by simply doing outstanding work with exceptional products, a family-oriented work ethic, and genuine caring for all of our neighbors throughout Eastern NC, because in a time of need, we know the first and the only thing you need is someone you can count on. That's why we only use equipment you can count on too, like a train comfort system. It's hard to stop a train. Delcor can have a new train comfort system installed in no time, or we can provide an AC tune-up to make sure your system is performing well. So will your system keep you cool all summer? Find out. Call us. We're Delcor, the service professionals. Reliable for over 4 decades. Visit DelcorInc.com today.
North Carolina state parks are now open for visitors. Parks should be used for exercise, fresh air, getting out in nature, or a day trip as the state safely reopens. Visitors should enjoy themselves, but please remember the 3 W's. Wear face coverings, wait 6 feet apart, and wash your hands often. Focus on moving through the park, keep social distancing in mind, and avoid large groups. While most facilities and activities will be open, please contact any state park before your visit with questions or visit ncparks.gov/open.
Register for Army ROTC to be a leader and an officer in the U.S. Army, Army Reserve, or Army National Guard. You could also be eligible for a full tuition scholarship. Lead the team that makes a difference. To learn more, contact Dale Anderson at 252-622-5346 or Anderson, DAL, at ECU.edu. Paid for by the United States Army.
This is Big John Williams, strength and conditioning coach for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, where good health hits home. Visit your CBD store today on Arlington Boulevard across from the mall. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Got damage? Damage from wood rot? Fixed. Damage from smoke or fire? Fixed. Damage caused by water? Fixed. If you've got damage, use a contractor that works for you and not your insurance company. Visit fixednc.com today or call 999-0001. That's 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Fixed NC, restore, renew, maintain. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
All right. Thank you very much, Shirley Rhodes. Great job this week. Glenn Griffin. Glenn, the Zoom over? All right. Good deal. You can check out Mike Houston's comments on our social media sites.
It's already up on our social media sites.
There you go. That is fast work from one Glenn Griffin. Well done. And it's Kevin Green jersey today, Morgan.
Met Kevin Green last year at the Cowboy-Vikings game.
Okay.
Kevin Green and another gentleman that played for the Panthers, they were getting tickets at the will call, and Bailey and I were getting our tickets.
Glenn's trying to get jerseys of athletes that have gone into wrestling. And Kevin Green starting his list.
Kevin Green was one of them.
Do you remember his WCW days?
Steve McMichael.
Yeah, Mongo.
So
he's got a few jerseys to get.
That's cool.
Coach Smith, great to chat with you today, and you'll be joining us on the U.S. Sailor 5th Quarter Call-In Show this year. That's going to be a lot of fun as you get to hear the either happy drunk callers or angry drunk callers after a game, Coach. It's I've been doing it a while. It's very entertaining, and you'll be able to provide some insight on what we just watched on the field.
I did that a couple of times for you last year. You know, we had a few.
He was drinking.
We had a few happy guys call in, but I was planning on coming drunk a couple times too.
Look, you got to do what you got to do.
Whatever it takes to get through it.
Especially by week 9 or 10, it's starting
just
to.
Kidding. Just kidding.
But that'll be fun this year. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Coming up Saturday, September 26th, we're playing football, right, Morgan?
Yes, we are.
Against those UCF Knights. In fact,
no families, but we're playing football.
Yeah, it still doesn't make any sense. I don't get it, but maybe by game 2. I don't know. Maybe in October. Hopefully. That's all we can say, right?
No, you can go on the road in Georgia State. You can watch the Pirates play
That's
Georgia
true.
State on the 3rd. You can go to Tampa on the 10th and watch them there. Then they come back against Navy on the 17th. And hopefully we'll have fans in the stands a month later.
Yeah. And you got to go all the way down to Atlanta to watch the Pirates in person this year, perhaps, at least to start the season. All right, Morgan, thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you.
I always enjoy it. Coach Smith, enjoyed it.
Yeah,
we'll see
thank
you see you guys next Friday right here on Pirate Radio Live. We'll see you folks on Monday, 3 o'clock, when we have an all-new edition of Pirate Radio Live. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Monday at 3. So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Pirate Radio Live, an exclusive presentation of the voice of the Pirate Nation.